Says we're live, so I guess we're live. Live over here.
I hope so. Hi.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday night. Live, so I guess we're live. Oh, that's mine. Hold on.
I hope so. Hi.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday night. Whoops. Yeah, let me mute that.
I'm muted. I just
No, it was my fault. It was from earlier when I was watching Pippa's show. I had the audio up. Yes, Ronnie, it took me long enough, right? 4 minutes over. I'm sorry. I'll give you a refund. Well, let me give some shout outs to the chat. We got Matt Williams. We got Ronnie's out there. We got the Lizard. Got Bigfoot. Addie's in the chat. He was putting all the links out earlier. I'm sure we'll see more of them. Let's see who else we got out here. We got Paul. You're out here in the chat now. And
I'm definitely out there somewhere.
Oh yeah. Tim, you don't even have a wrench on with your homegrown alchemy one? Well, no, you don't.
Hold on. Let me switch. Let me switch accounts because.
Well, you don't. You know your name. You don't even have a wrench on your own channel. So your Streamlab troll beater could actually time yourself out.
That's funny. Hold on. Let me.
I'm not even sure what the name was when she started the channel.
Yeah. B Dog, what's up, B Dog? What's up, Brian Feeney? Yeah, let Tam get settled. Well, how's everybody's week's been? How about you, Addie? I know you were saying before that it's been a hot one. They wouldn't give you air conditioning, but they gave you some popsicles.
Yeah, we got some popsicles with electrolytes in there. Yeah, getting through it. You know, Gene's back to work and recovering. That's the most important thing.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's all I need.
Heck yeah.
Okay, let's try this again.
Where the heck is Adam? It looks pretty cool. Is it freaking, what do they call those?
He looks like he's under the L, don't he?
Hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Cool. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm outside the venue.
we
We
good.
actually just finished playing like 5 minutes ago. So I figured
Awesome.
I'd drop in at least for a minute and say what's up. I'm sorry I have to miss the show.
That's all right. Hey, man, you're rock star. You.
Wait.
Gotta make that money, Adam.
Are we still streaming? It says offline.
Oh wow! Yeah. It just went drop frames. What in the world? What the hell's going on? No stream.
All my
Son
fault.
of a bitch. No, it ain't your fault. It just went crazy.
Now we're back.
Are we?
Okay, there you go.
No, I hit the wrong. Yeah, it was showing like 11,000 kilobits a second. I'm like, why? That's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be like 2,500. Yeah, it showed 681 drop frames. What in the world? Don't start that shit. See, I was just saying about how it's supposed to be so less taxing on this computer and everything. This OBS. Oh, Vape Ross Vape. What's up? So Adam, you in the city in Chicago, or are you in somewhere else tonight?
No, I'm in Chicago.
Cool. Let me see where my daughter is. Maybe you're close to her.
Reference to where I'm at right now.
Oh, never mind. She's leaving town. She's already back at the airport. She must have been in and out.
Okay. Apparently, everybody's using my base amp tonight. The last band looks like, hey, can they use your base amp? Like, sure. First band did too, so whatever.
Cool.
Guess you're staying late.
Don't blow it up. I always stay for all the bands anyway. That's just a good camaraderie thing to do.
Oh, I bet, yeah. Yes, that's something we don't get in vaping anymore. It seems like it's camaraderie. Everyone wants to fight each other, so at least it's good to see it somewhere in the world.
Gosh, right?
Ridiculous.
Just be nice, you know?
Exactly. Be nice to each other. You only get one life. Enjoy it while you have it. What's up, Kimmy? Kimmy in the house.
Yo, Kimmy.
Everybody of you. Hello, fellow vapor.
Haha. Don't you love that when you just see somebody blowing clouds and you're like, yo, what up? Are we now just friends?
You're on a live vape show on YouTube, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Listen to him. Blow your cloud.
You had a jewel.
Oh, great.
Also,
Show them what a
always,
real vape is.
What's going on, Orlando? What's going on, Cyril? Yeah, I said, yeah, show them how to blow a cloud, not that little 50 milligram bullshit.
Hey, at least they're not smoking.
Exactly.
This is very true. Very true.
yeah, I saw a
Just
couple
be
of cloud
nice.
chasers down here today since I've been down here.
Cool. You been down like all afternoon or what?
I've been here since like 5:30 ish.
Cool.
Yeah, first band started at 6:30, so and then our set was at 7:20.
Nice.
Early shit.
Yeah. That's good for old people like me. I like to go to bed early.
I don't mind getting home early. Not at all.
So, Paul, I miss seeing all those flavors and all those mixes behind you. It looks really clean back there. That's better. Industrial.
Oh, nice. I like that. Oh, I
Yeah.
need that
It,
in my life. Really bad.
well, it makes life a whole lot easier for me. Developing stuff here now, I know where things are. I don't have to rummage through. But with, like, before the show started and I was, leaning on what I'm doing now and my new role at Mullenberry, I've got more packages arriving tomorrow. And I'm just like, well, where am I going to put all of this?
You could send it here. I won't have a problem with that. I won't get mad.
Adam, we'll have a talk about that during the week. Same with Addy Tooney. I'll reach out to you during the week as well.
All right, buddy.
It's not only now the commercial side.
Gotcha.
It's also the DIYers that I'll be working with very closely, and there might be a few surprises down the pathway. If we come across really, really, really good recipes, they might end up going commercial as a one-shot.
Nice.
Anyway.
Awesome. So I don't envy you. Now you gotta know those 120 flavors inside and out.
Addy, there's quite a lot more than that actually.
Okay.
if you have a look at their sister company, Chem Novatic.
Oh my God! Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Karen, you made a live show. Awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a sister company.
Correct. That's who manufactures for Mullenberry as such.
Wow, awesome.
And then there's the third part to it that we won't discuss on air, but it's a huge undertaking. Developing new business relationships here in Australia and New Zealand, and also in the United States. So, yeah, and then the DIY community on top of that.
Has there been any progress in the advocacy over then in Australia? Any positive?
There's a few positive things now. We actually have people from both sides in government wanting to have some form of roundtable discussion after the findings of the child that passed away from ingesting nicotine. The coroner's report's come down, and he's actually said now that he would like to see this properly dealt with, and the legalization of nicotine and the limiting of nicotine, anything over 50 milligrams, to be dealt with by companies. If we were to be able to get a trial of some description here in Australia to go through, and they chose specific liquid manufacturers to develop and put out, say, 3, 6, 9 and 12 milligram liquids as a trial for 3 or 6 months, if it went well, I think we would not see anything go wrong in that side of it. We have two big manufacturers here in Australia, Wick and Wire and Vaporize. Both have set up operations in New Zealand now to mix their complete lines with nicotine, and also as a drop shipping type location into Australia with already nicked up liquids from the United States and Europe. I hope the government actually listens this time. And I feel bad that it's actually taken a death from high-grade nicotine to actually push the agenda forward.
What a shame.
Well, Addie, you know how I feel about it. And for that to happen, an 18-month-old passing to actually get us to sit at a table. What the?
That's sad.
Seriously.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It makes my job a whole lot harder, actually. But if, for argument's sake, they stop the flow of nicotine into the country, where everyone here is in trouble.
Right.
The lies that they're putting out here regarding the smoking rate, they're trying to say that it's under 10%. It's not. It's around 12.5%, 13%. But if you go to lower socioeconomic and you look at the smoking rates in those areas, you're looking at 40%.
Wow.
In these suburbs and towns and cities. That is that's you can't do that.
Now that probably correlates to the Aboriginals also, right? A really high rate.
Well, the Aboriginals, it's actually over 50% rate.
Wow.
It's very, very similar to New Zealand with the Maori population. Their population has very high smoking rates and they're dying off. And it's happening here, the same thing. But when you have a government that doesn't want to listen to the science, and you do remember me saying this, Addie, that our actual health minister here in Australia is a lawyer. He's not a doctor. The guy running the country as the health minister is actually a lawyer, taking everything under advisement, and he's only in it for the dollar. He's not there to help people. He's got his little legal hat on, and he doesn't care.
Taking care of his cronies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I said this when I was interviewed by Lindsay Stroud the other week. I said, you come into government with very little in your account, you walk out a multi-millionaire. That's why you get into government. And it's the same across the world. I don't care where you are. You walk in with maybe 100,000 in your account and a nice, 3-bedroom home. You walk out of there with a 5-bedroom home and X amount of $1 million in your account and a pension for the rest of your life. That's unfair. Sorry.
It's the same way here in the States. People that are in Washington, they have a lifetime pension, whether they served 1-2 year term or if they're a career politician that's been in there for 30, 40 years.
Yeah, correct. But you only have to look here. The Prime Minister, by cutting our penalty rates here, we used to get penalty rates on weekends if we'd work at the weekend. He's now cut that for X amount of workers here in Australia. And then he goes and gives himself an $11,000 pay increase on top of, and he's one of the highest paid prime ministers in the world. And I'm still shaking my head at this. I said, what the hell are you doing, guys? Come on.
Yeah, it's like for people that don't know, penalty rates is basically like time and a half here.
Yeah, correct. And then we've got a very well-known chef that just got his pants pulled down because he owed his workers almost $8 million in wages.
Oh.
Yeah, that didn't go down too well.
No. What's going on, JFM? VSO in the house. Stalker, what's up? Steve-O, I don't think I said Steve-O.
All right, you crazy kids. The next band is sound checking right now, so I'm going to go in and check them out.
Awesome, dude.
Right.
Enjoy it.
Have fun, Adam. See ya.
If you guys are still on, I'll jump
Thanks
in
for
again.
checking in.
All right, cool. Later, brother.
Show, bye.
Careful on that mute.
Always.
Yeah, Simon, I know about the tax cut he gave himself. Yeah, turn it up. I'm seeing it everywhere, absolutely everywhere now. And I also said this in my interview, that I think it's about time that the FDA gets stripped back to the absolute bare minimum and rebuilt from the ground, and stop this revolving door policy between biotech, pharma, and any other industry that wants something put through quick, smart, and put real people in there that know what the fuck they're doing. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, if you look at it, it's one wording in the ruling that came down from the judge that gives the FDA, you know, power to do whatever the fuck they want, is they can have it where someone that they feel is like, in a case by case basis, that it's justified, that they don't need to go through the process, and they can get it, and they don't have a deadline, they can just continue business as usual. And it's like, I guess it's, if you have the right amount of money and you know the right people, all of a sudden your case is fine, and you don't have to worry about going through the process. You can be delayed until forever.
Well, that was a topic that I touched on with Kevin Crowley and David Gurlowitz not too long ago in a private conversation that we had. He said to me straight out that the players have already been chosen.
Oh yeah.
And whoever's got a seat at the table is going to get a golden ticket straight to the show. And I went, hang on a second, what have happened to anything fair? And he said, it's all corporate now. Corporate America. And you can see it from where I'm sitting, on the other side of the world. You're watching corporations control the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get more blatant than Gottlieb getting the red label suicide boarding off of Shantex, and then, I quit, I resign, I want to spend more time with my family. Oh, I'm working for Pfizer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they make Shantex.
How? I was going to ask you about that, Eddie. How the fuck did that go down? Seriously.
He quit.
Yeah.
He quit his government job, went back in the private sector. It's business.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it dirty? Oh, it's dirty as dirt outside, but it's the way with business, not even politics in that case. It was politics when he was working for the government, but then turned into private business. There's a reason why he was a millionaire when he took the job.
We've all been talking in the background on this, and the really interesting part is he was in the vape space for X amount of time.
Yeah.
He then gets rid of that, and then bada bing, straight into the FDA role, and then bada bing, says, "Oh, I've got to go and hang out with mum and my wife and my daughter and whatever," and then bada bing, he's over on the Pfizer board.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've all been saying and joking, what did he want in that role? To upend the apple cart in such a way that Pfizer will walk in with said product, and you know where I'm going with this, Frank. You know exactly where I'm going, because pharma have always wanted the vape space or the vape technology, especially the temperature control as a drug delivery system. And I think this is where it's going.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Oh, absolutely. It is.
I mean, it doesn't make financial sense to come out with a vaporizing product. Well, maybe that won't do nicotine. They'll just, like you say, some kind of medical delivery system. But because they already have the Chantix, it makes almost $1 billion a year.
Exactly. They can easily turn Chantix into a vapor form,
Yeah,
and
that's true,
it'll sell like hotcakes.
Well, I already know. Giz, myself, and one other person, Yeti, a couple of years ago, we were poking around in the background looking at stuff, and we found a company that was in Switzerland that specifically was prototyping medical devices or vaping products for the delivery of A, antidepressants, and B, for the delivery of insulin. And the third one, and this is the kicker, for ADHD.
What is that?
ADHD.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Attention deficit, and when they were also messing around for a little bit there, I remember like 2 years ago with vitamins,
Correct.
and it didn't
Yep.
go anywhere. I guess there wasn't enough money in it to continue with technology. But what Simon's saying is going to be a good go around, for people here. If they don't feel like going through, whatever, however this goes down, where they can market their stuff as CBD devices, because right now CBD is not regulated here. Neither is kratom,
Yeah.
which I'm not.
Yeah.
I've heard a little bit about what that crap is, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Okay. But Dimitri, Dimmy, the vaping Greek, said last night in a little chat that he had that until you go to a proprietary 510 system, you will not get through PMTA, because a regular 510, okay, we've got a regular 510 here. Anything can screw onto this 510. If it's proprietary, you have a chance of getting through the PMTA process.
I see what you're saying. That only whatever atomizer goes on top, they're a married set, and you can't break them apart.
Thank you. That's what he said, and that was the key to everything last night. Everything fell into place for me after that. I just went, oh.
Well, that's why pod systems have a better shot at getting through, because there's no 510 to deal with.
Some pod systems will, yes. But then again, if you're using the same 3-pin design, that is interchangeable.
Yeah.
That's the issue with that. So each one has to be proprietary.
That's what really scared me when the FDA came out and said, if a PMTA passes, you can use their scientific research in your PMTA, but if it's proprietary research, how are you gonna use it?
Exactly. If somebody basically says, no, this is mine, you can't use it, then you can't use it.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street now. And if you look at it, it was meant to be a two-way street. Now both lanes in that street are going the exact same direction.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing here in Australia, I'm actually seeing two very large distros just dumping product left, right, and centre here. It's like a dumping ground, in part. That's the first thing I'm seeing. Then I'm also seeing smaller companies in the United States and Canada, for that matter now, looking for ways out and looking to the European market where they're a little bit more open to products. Sure, you have TPD restrictions, but they're at least allowing these products to go forward.
Yeah. Okay, I want to read this statement that I was trying to get Stefan Didak on the show today, but he had a prior commitment in San Francisco. And but he did send me a statement he wanted me to read off. He says, a lot of current focus appears to be on the question how FDA will enforce after the PMTA deadline has passed and manufacturers have not filed any PMTAs. While a lot of people are correct in their understanding that FDA does not have the resources and manpower to go after everyone and have a track record of haphazard and weak enforcement on other compliance issues, the reality is the FDA doesn't have to enforce. Local and state governments will. There's a lot of people out there who are aware of the situation in San Francisco, banning all vapor products until unless given, marketing order by the FDA, i.e., PMTA process. but many also voice their opinion that this is just a local thing, just a city, just because San Francisco is nuts, which it is. And yet, couldn't be more wrong. Look at the rash of flavor bans that started in the Bay Area, flooded through California, and now have gone on to set fire in places like Minnesota, Massachusetts, etc. I would think that history and tobacco control strategy should be sufficient for everyone to see where things are headed. The full ban with a twist in San Francisco is not an isolated policy that came from merely San Francisco Supervisor Walton and City Attorney Herrera. It's part of a comprehensive larger scale strategy by tobacco control and public health groups, which has undertaken specifically for the AAP versus FDA lawsuit. The fact that San Francisco ban happened right after the closing of the first round in court is mostly because Supervisor Walton wanted to mess with potential ballot measure timelines, which is why the San Francisco ban did not play as big a role in the court of public influence in relation to AAP versus the FDA as was planned. And as of days after the San Francisco ban, other municipalities are looking at adopting similar legislation based on FDA is not doing its job, so we should. Regardless of whether FDA or anyone appeals the case, that 10-month verdict sticks, and more wider scale local action will be taken by tobacco control / PH groups to get public health groups to get more of these local bans in place. This time, however, those policy decisions will be bolstered by the outcome of the case and form a pretty solid basis that would stand up to local legal challenges. Other all-out bans have been legally questionable, but in this case, it's unfortunately a solidifying factor in passing local ordinances banning the sale of all products that aren't approved. This is how enforcement will play out. Not the FDA busting down doors, but local municipalities and possible state action, depending on the state, session, etc., taking action because FDA is not doing its job. Tobacco control groups have traditionally been pretty weak at the federal level, and their main strength lies in local and state efforts, particularly local ones where they rely on their endless supply of misguided volunteers. This is also the level where vapor has been, and still is, and probably will remain extremely weak. The endgame battles will not be federal, they will be local by the hundreds. The analogy here is that while everyone is looking at the engine of the car that isn't moving, they fail to see that the wheels have been taken off of it. By the time it's clear what's wrong with the engine of the car, the car will still not move. That was Stefan's words, basically, his talking points.
Well, touching on certain things, you have. Hello,
Christine!
Wow.
You guys hear
You,
me? Sharon?
Yeah, you're good.
Yep. So far, you have two major players in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have A-Beam, Pax Labs, and Juul, right? The second player that no one is talking about, and this is the truth. Until Molecule Labs actually get shown for who they are and who they're co-packing for right now, and all the labels that they were co-packing for once upon a time, including Cutwood for that matter, and when you actually see a gentleman now that's on the board of Molecule that actually works for Fontum, which is Imperial Tobacco.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Come on. You can't be telling me that they're not one of the players. And I even remember Mike Welsh saying in an interview that he did that his lab was ISO 7, but with a change out of filters, it could go to ISO 5. ISO 5 then becomes pharma grade manufacturing.
But as soon as you open that bottle of e-liquid, it's, the sanitary is gone.
Yeah, correct. But if you look at the numbers that they were talking about manufacturing out of one facility, we're like hundreds of millions of said product in one facility. If they were to do a secondary facility, for argument's sake, in Massachusetts, which has been spoken about,
Mm-hmm.
and if they do a third one, what's going to happen?
They're going to have a monopoly on the entire market.
Right. And they're doing all the packing now of My Blue.
Okay.
That's who does it all. It's all Molecule.
Yeah. That's why Bizzardo quit. Said, fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Thank you. He saw the writing on the wall, and he won't come out and say that publicly. And bang, bada bing.
Yeah. Vape Ross Vape said it right. No lab talking enough for 1 week about. I think we all got an education this week on ISO 5, 6, 7, 14, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And
Where did that come from?
we
Like a Star Wars saga.
we're not even gonna. Switzerland. Love everybody. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah, I
let's-
understand that.
Yeah.
All right, point taken.
Yeah. Ross actually did a video today talking about it this morning.
Okay.
Christine, how the fuck have you been, sweetheart?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I am. I'm sorry I'm not upstairs. I just.
I'm used to the crosses.
You what?
I'm
I
used to the
love those.
crosses.
Oh, I know. I'm just not in front of my good camera and mic and all that other stuff.
Well, you're out of practice.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting reviews back up again.
Awesome.
So, I've been in the middle of rearranging my. Oh, oh, you got changed just for me. You're so. Well, soon you will have half pint, half speed to be able to watch them. But yeah, so I'm just getting that room reorganized and everything. So.
Cool. What's been going
So
on up there?
Excited to meet you.
Oh, hi Tam. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, I have seen you on streams and stuff, but I've never met. You know, we've never been on the same stream.
Right. I actually don't know any clowns. I don't even know why I'm here. I just.
I don't either. I'm actually mixing an e-juice and I'm
I don't
listening.
think I
so.
totally
She pulled the Zoom link off of Craigslist.
Yeah.
No.
Back page.
No, and Frank, he posted on Craigslist too.
Yeah, he would probably do something like that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, he was.
He's like, maybe we'll get Christine a date.
God, here we go.
Well, what's been going on the advocacy front up there in Connecticut? I know it's kind of bleak there for a while.
It's still
I tried to get Andrew on, but he was too drunk. He was going to a birthday party.
Well, I'm supposed to be there right now.
Was that the same party?
Yes.
Oh, geez, small. It is a small state.
Yes. So, yeah, Andrew's one of my best friends. Andrew is the guy for all the knowledge, to be 100% honest with you. I can only give my opinion on things. I haven't, read through everything or anything like that. It's a lot. It's a lot. And Connecticut is, I know, oh God, what's her name? Lindsay Shroud?
Mm-hmm.
Has been posting like lists state by state of what bills and proposals are like going through, and like, you've got, I'm just throwing, Pennsylvania out there, and there might be 3, and some other state there might be 2, and Connecticut there's like 7 or 8, like, it's ridiculous. But we do have T21 passing in October.
Yeah, I think that's going to end up being a federal by the time it's all said and done.
And I don't know. I got very mixed emotions on that.
Yeah, I do too, because I look at it this way: you could have someone go fight for their country, come back, be 20 years old, go into a vape shop to go get e-liquid or go get a device. Oh, thank you for your service, but no, we can't sell it to you for another year.
Yeah.
But they can go on base and they can buy cigarettes.
Of course. And you know what? And beyond even the principle of it, it's sort of like what is that going to do? You're not helping adults with T21.
No.
And harming the young adults that were of age. Now what are they going to do? They're going to go back to smoking. So like, I don't get it. I don't understand, because the kids that are, under 21, or were under 18, most of them got it. Who did they get it from? They got it from friends. They got it from parents.
Exactly.
They got it from, or they went to convenience stores and all this other stuff. So it's like it's, the whole thing is very, very frustrating right now. And I'm in a lot of, these groups, advocacy groups, and even with the PMTAs, everyone's fighting on how this should be done, how that should be done. And, nobody's agreeing that, I don't know. It just seems like no matter what war we need to fight, instead we fight ourselves.
Yeah, there's no unification.
Right.
There's so much infighting that basically the enemy is just looking at us and laughing.
Right. Because we're just tripping over each other. Because, oh no, I'm right. Oh no, I'm right. Like, so, like, I know that petition to go to Washington was going around.
Yeah, that's one that Matt Cully came out and said don't even bother with it. No, I'm sorry. I got the wrong person. No, Grim Green said don't even bother with it because
and a lot of people's consensus was don't bother with it. And my consensus is I did it. It literally takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, enough. Yeah, you put your name and your email address in, boom, done.
It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt.
No,
anything.
exactly. I did it. I shared it. It took 5 seconds total to share it and do it.
So what's it? It's not going to hurt.
No.
So
it was nice. It was nice to actually see some of the larger reviewers actually in their groups and out in social media actually starting to put stuff up, basically put advocacy posts up. Like I saw Mike Vapes actually shared one and reposted on Instagram today the testimony from Albany.
Right.
Because New York's a place. Mike Vapes lives in New York. If they shut everything down there, he owns a business there. He's screwed because he ain't making he's not paying for his house and YouTube money.
Right, of course. I mean, I guess my main, I'm gonna get hate for this, but my main concern, as those of you that know me know, Frank knows, he's seen it firsthand. I'm not really concerned about the YouTube reviewers, and I mean, a lot of them are my friends, and I love them. And I care about their businesses. I care about them not as YouTube reviewers. I care about them if they're going to lose a business.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What I care about is the Joe Schmoes on the street who are not going to have access to this healthy oil.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. The bottom line, we're just all trying to figure out how to keep that person having those options to be able to go to gas station or go to somewhere where they can get carded and buy a vaping product.
Well, I mean, TJ says it all the time. We're not worried about us.
No,
we're going to be fine. It's the people behind us.
Exactly.
That we want people to feel that joy that we felt to finally break those chains of tobacco.
100%. And and I know even in Carlo, not mine. I don't have one. My card just disappears. But like, even with PMTs, a lot of people I know, a lot of businesses are like, you're not, they're not even going to file them. They're not even going to try. They're like, why bother? Like, we're never going to have enough money. We're never going to have this. We're never going to have that. I think the best defense is a good offense.
Mm-hmm.
File anybody who can scrape up the money, file. Because look what happened. How many years ago was it now? Everybody filed 2017?
2016, when Deeming
That
came
was
down.
16.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody filed, and what happened? We didn't get a reprieve, but we got a pretty long extension. Why? Because the FDA couldn't handle it.
No, they couldn't process it all.
Yeah.
Well,
so now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's only part of it. You have, as soon as you combine more than 2 components in a liquid, the chemistry's changed. So there's not enough labs in the United States to actually go through the PMTA process for a start. Secondly, half of the labs in the United States, they'll be able to manufacture, but it won't be sold in the United States, which is stupidity.
Yeah.
It's absolute stupidity.
Yeah, Wendy in the chat brings up a good point. She says she asked several vape shops what they're doing about the possible regulations, and they have no idea what the hell's going on. And I'd said this the other day, that there's basically, and this number's probably high, that 0.5% of all vapors are trying to save it for the other 99.5%. It's probably more closer to 0.1 or 0.2.
No, you're right. You're 100% right in saying that, because it doesn't matter, go back 3 or 4 years when we were banging on about this. Go back to 2015, the start of 2016, before Demon got handed down 8-8. And it was a handful of us that were actually doing all the heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
I will agree that the state associations were good in part, but until everyone joins together at the hip, it's not, joining around a campfire and singing Kumbaya. It's,
No.
it has to be coast to coast. Everyone has to join forces and just hammer the living hell out of the FTA. Secondly, the black market that's going to appear from this, oh my God.
Oh yeah,
And
there's
and
gonna be dirty
anyone-
money made hand over fist.
Okay, and anyone that's in the DIY sector, if you don't think you're going to be affected, watch out, because nicotine is next on the hit list. He who controls the spice controls the universe.
Yes.
And nicotine is the spice. All right. Whoever controls that controls everything. And I can say this openly because of who I work for now.
Yeah.
It is not gonna be an easy task. It's not going to be easy for international collaborations to happen like it used to be.
Yeah.
You have prime example Capella, and I found this out last night. Now, if you're a commercial manufacturer in the United States, you have to order your Capella now internationally and bring it back into the US so you can keep mixing. How the hell this works, I've got no idea.
A crock of shit.
Yeah, that's bullshit there. And just makes zero logistical sense whatsoever.
Well, Capella, their other interests, I'm not bashing them here, but their other interests aren't in vaping.
No.
Their bases and their flavorings are used in so many other things.
Oh, yeah, it's all candy and food and
Correct.
all kinds
Correct.
of consumables.
But you have Flavora now putting their hand up and saying, "Bada bing, we are here for the vaping community."
Mm-hmm.
You have Flavor North America and Italy putting their hand up. You now have Molenberry putting their hand up. Yes, we are part of the community, but we would like to see things become a little bit fairer.
Yeah.
It's unfair what is happening. And you take the laws here in Australia. If the laws here in Australia were to be passed down like draconian as they are, your industry would be gone by the end of the week.
Yeah.
Bottom, simple as that. Addy said, yes, we would all survive, but it's the other people that we've been trying to help and get off the stinkies. They're the ones that are going to suffer.
Absolutely. Like we were talking earlier about how, lower incomes in Australia, the smoking rates are through the roof. They're just as high as they've ever been. And it'll just keep going up.
I would love to see the online retailers and all the vape shops. Every purchase, everybody gets a little handout. Here, do your part. But none of them, hardly any of them, do it.
No, I mean, first thing I do if I go into a vape shop that I've never been in before, the first thing I ask the person behind the counter is, "What do you do for advocacy?" And that'll tell me right off the bat how long I'm going to spend in that vape shop that day.
Right, me too. I do it too.
I mean, I don't expect them to know everything, but at least tell me you're part of your state or your state association. Let me see something on the door or something. Like here in North Carolina, we have multiple groups that are all basically ran by the same group of people. And there's a political action committee. There's a vaping coalition, which is for everybody. Then there's another organization that's just for shop owners. And if you don't have that logo on your door, you're behind the 8 ball. Because they're not gonna help you. We have our own lobbyists in the state capitol that keep things on an even keel for us here, which most states don't have that. Or if they do, they don't have the clout that we have here.
Well, I remember saying this on a show that I was on with myself, Bogan, Matt Cully. I don't remember who the adjudicator was, but I said, what would happen if you had one of the massive law firms out of New York joined together with, they've got offices in, New York, London, Paris, wherever.
Mm-hmm.
What if they put together an international vaping alliance, and you have litigators in each of these countries, and it's across the world, everything gets put in, and where a fight pops up, it's like playing whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
You just send in the big guns and you go whack. We'll fix you for the minute and we'll come back to you. But if it was international and everyone, like, you've got lawyers and litigators that understand what's going on in each part of the world.
Yeah, we need a cartel like a lot of other.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly that. You can call it the cartel, the International Vaping Alliance, whatever you want to call it. But
That would mean everybody has to agree and get along.
thank you.
Well, they don't
Tim,
they don't have to.
look.
Yeah, they don't have to like each other. They just have to work together.
Right.
Thank you. But if you had litigators at that level, like in international corporate litigators, that would be able to go and speak to the government at a government level and be ultra professional about it, bada bing. It's like who Altria and Juul are putting in play. They're lobbyists. They're heavyweights. They're not, bop bop ding ding from up the road.
Yeah.
You're talking serious money and serious heavyweights going in to fight for what they want.
Yeah, and
Enough is enough.
And here we're getting it on two fronts. We have, the FDA and the tobacco-free kids and this organization, that organization, that are all coming down on vaping on a national level, and then we have states and even municipalities. California is just a flat-out shit show.
Oh, don't even go there.
A couple more good earthquakes, and we can build that wall around it and try to find a way to put a block in so information can't come out of there and infect the rest of the country. I'm joking. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But theoretically, I mean, like what Stefan said there, the town, all the town stuff that's going on in California is now getting spread to Minnesota and Massachusetts. So now you already have, they're getting power on the West Coast, they're getting power on the East Coast, they're getting power in the middle. Now they could just clamp down on us, to continue to fight.
Well, you also look at that soccer mum that's been causing all the mischief over in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Her husband, he's one of the heavyweight policy makers for Deloitte.
Yeah.
And it's like, how does this work?
And there's a new one in Georgia too. They're recruiting high school kids and people that can do anti-vaping memes and all this stuff, and they're paying them. They're offering like a $200 scholarship or something for their time to do it. And it's a doctor that's pushing his two sons into doing it. And he's not even he's like a psychologist or some life coach type of bullshit. He's not like an MD.
No, and this is what's happening. You now have policymakers or risk management teams coming from Deloitte, and Deloitte works directly for PMI, for anyone that doesn't know that. You have these people in risk management trying to figure out and navigate said products and ways and means to crush people. And that doctor and his two sons need to be, slapped up the side of the head and told to shut up, because they've even got a SoundCloud now where they've done garbage on there, which I don't really agree with. No. And secondly, who's writing all the permission slips for these kids to actually go and talk at the state level when these flavour ban hearings are going down? Because here in Australia, for you to enter a room like that, you A, need to be with your parent, or B, you need to be over the age of 18. How's this even work? And this is what's been worrying me.
It's a class project.
I don't give a rat's ass about a class project.
Well, I agree, but that's how these kids are getting in, and so who knows if these parents? I mean, sure, a lot of them know that their kids are going and they're speaking, but there's probably a lot of them. Oh yeah, here's permission slip. Oh, you want to go? Okay, here go. Because Bobby's going, so Judy wants to go. Okay, go ahead. And the parents don't even know.
we really don't care about your opinion until you get to be 18, and then you can vote. So why are you allowed
Yeah,
in
why
a
is it allowed to say?
lawmaker
Exactly.
building?
Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah.
That is my entire point. How the fuck are these kids being allowed to get up there and read off a script
Mm-hmm.
that A, they did not prepare,
Oh, yeah.
B, they've got no idea what the fuck they're
Right.
talking
You can't even
about.
pronounce
For
the
a
words.
second.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What about
And-
the kids who are pro vaping? I mean,
Uh,
do they let them get up and talk?
no,
I mean,
no.
Well,
No.
they shouldn't even, if they're under 18, they shouldn't even be pro vaping because they shouldn't
but
even know
that's
anything.
the idiocy.
In theory.
I didn't say that word. But that's the craziness of the whole thing is that you're not going to let a child under 18 get up and talk about pro vaping. So why would you let someone under 18 get up and talk about anti vaping?
Yeah.
Right?
Correct. And then
Yeah.
the business owners, the pro vaping owners, right? Some of them are very small businesses, maybe one or two shops, and they're having all their liquids co-packed. They're given less than 30 seconds to actually talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the people that are wanting to throw everything under the bus, they're being allowed the stage for A, for propaganda, and B, for well, how about we start suing these guys because they're the ones. It's blood on their hands when people start dying.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Frank.
No, I was gonna go ahead. I was gonna let you talk.
Oh no, well you talk about it because I can't. I can talk about it afterward.
Well, it's just basically, yeah, like the blood on your hands is exactly right. You know, when like something that happened in Australia, if that happens here, they're just gonna flat out blame the vaping community, and they're gonna even crack down even harder. They're not gonna look at it logically and say, well, you're forcing people to hide stuff, and you're getting, granted, we're not at that point yet, like you guys have already been. But if it comes down to that, where there is basically a nicotine black market, you don't even know what's going to be in your nicotine to begin with. It may not be pure. It may just be whatever. Because if it's not legal to for a person without a license to to have it, it could be anything in there.
Well, here's the other thing about nicotine. A lot of people think that the United States is one of the biggest manufacturers of nicotine or liquid nicotine on the planet. Wrong.
Mm-mm.
You look at the other players in this game. China is massive.
Oh yeah.
You have to look at India, massive. They're both huge manufacturers. Then you look at some of the smaller players. There's a very large manufacturer in Poland. And if you look at these countries where they're completely demonizing vaping or the vaping technology, you look at India and their backhand that they got from the WHO,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to shut it down completely. You look at the countries that are controlled by tobacco growers and manufacturing of said products in every way, shape, and form, and you have issues. You look it, and there's small amount of liquid nicotine manufactured in the United States, but the majority of the nicotine that you're using in your products right now is actually coming out of India. Simple as that. People don't understand that.
Yeah, I believe that. It's like, especially if you're buying from the bigger flavor houses that just happen to have nicotine. Like I get a lot of mine from Carolina Extracts, which I know they're getting it here, it's sourced, but I'm paying 3 times the amount than I would if I was just getting a bottle from Liquid Barn.
Correct. It's Switzerland is also you are correct, but you're looking outside the country yet again.
Yeah.
If you cut off that supply, you're changing the whole playing field, and that's what that they haven't gone after it yet. They will. We use exactly the same nicotine in our products as they use in dermal patches. They want in sprays, in gums, all of it. So everyone that's saying that big tobacco is still the problem, They're looking and barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
It's
I love what
all
Wendy's
boiled-
saying out in the
it
chat.
all
She is
boils-
spot on. Well,
It
how we
all-
had to just say no for years, and now all of a sudden, medical marijuana, recreational marijuana, it's everywhere. We actually have our first CBD dispensary right in town here. Granted, that's not marijuana, but it's a cannabinoid. Well, I never expected to see that here in North Carolina. Yeah, pharma is the issue. Yeah.
Pharma has been the issue.
It's always been,
And-
pharma's always been an issue. And
Correct.
Paul, you bring up a good point about the nicotine and the DIYers. I mean, we're all seeing that all over Facebook and in forums. Well, I'll just DIY and I'll just, and like I've always said, good for you. What about the people who don't know how and can't? Number one.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
Okay. Number two. So thank you for just thinking about yourself.
Sure.
Good. But I've always said, like, if you think that nicotine is not next, it is. And one thing I want to bring up, and I might get hate for this too from some people who are some vapors, maybe some in the audience or whatever, that are upset with Aaron Bieber and his new movie. I think what he's doing is super smart.
Mm-hmm.
He never stated that was going to be a vaping movie. He gave us a vaping movie, A Billion Lives.
Yeah.
And you still do not realize how many people I have spoken to, vapors, people who express their concern, who have not even watched that movie, not once. And I can't even count how many times it's crazy. If you decriminalize nicotine and you turn around and have scientific evidence of how it helps, maybe not as a nicotine, he wants to focus on nicotine replacement therapy, meaning all of them, right? So, but these people are like, you lied to us, you this, you that. No, he didn't. I think what he's doing is really, really smart. Decriminalize nicotine. That's the source. That's what we want to stay. I mean, we want, of course, our flavors and all that other stuff to stay on the market. But like you said, what's the seasoning? The seasoning is the nicotine. So if you can somehow decriminalize that, I don't think it'll be done in time, but I think it's a great concept.
I've been working behind the scenes for quite some time now, and working with people that are quite a lot smarter than what I am, and we all come to the same agreement that if they stem the flow of said product, we've got big problems.
Right.
And they're trying to say that there's a nicotine shortage now. There is in part, but that's because the big players are actually stockpiling 99% pure in crystalline form or in direct extract. And they're sitting on it in case everything goes south. And they can still manufacture for their clients around the world. A lot of the big players or the liquid manufacturers in the United States are actually shitting in their own sandbox. They should be the ones actually helping and getting into the fight. Okay, here's a prime example. Vapetasia the other day became a platinum member of VCA.
Yeah.
Right? And to actually get that status and sit on the board of VCA, it will cost you money. A lot of these other companies, all liquid manufacturers should hear this, because A, I'm a liquid manufacturer as well. A, you join your state group, and secondly, you can, I think it costs you $1,000 a year to actually join the VCA. Enough is enough. Take your thumb out of your ass, put your $1,000 up, and get into the fight.
Just do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, those same people who are so concerned about, they're like, well, we can't afford. I'm sure there are plenty of smaller companies that can't do it. Okay, they don't have it. They don't have the money. Well, you know what? If you're that concerned, I mean, I have a kind of a whole new aspect on this due to what's happened to me physically, and I've had to cut so many corners. Is that, guess what? Don't buy Starbucks 5 days a week. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't just cut out all the crap in your life. If you're going to do this for the long haul and you want this to be your livelihood and you want this to be, you know, what puts food on your table, and put up the $1,000.
Exactly.
I mean, don't tell me you
Absolutely.
can't come up with $1,000.
Yeah.
I'm $12,000 in debt with very vocal vapors. So don't tell me you can't come up with $1,000. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's put up or shut up at this point for all these companies.
Right. If there's a will, there's a way. Figure it out.
Well, the other thing is, if you got Lamborghini money,
Yeah.
you got $100,000 to become a platinum member. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm
basically
real.
you know, because the hardware side, they don't give a shit, because, you know, over in China, it'll get here other ways. To them, it's whatever we do here as far as any legislation is not going to phase them one bit, because we are a small player internationally when it comes to China.
Hardware is like a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Right? It's all good. You can have a room full of hardware, but if you don't have liquid, you got jack shit.
Exactly.
Sorry, but that's how it works. That's the main commodity. That's why and Addy will agree with me on this one, that go back a couple of years, these massive players that appeared out of nowhere, right? Kids between the age of 25 and 35 created these companies. They all got Lambo money.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw this happening, didn't you, Addy? And you were pissed. You used to say on different shows, guess where they're getting the ideas from? They're getting it from the DIY community. These pricks go and roll up a line in no time, and then bada bing.
Don't give a
Thank
shit
you.
about the community.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Burn it to the ground, they say.
Yeah.
We'll just make the dollars, and then we'll bend everyone over.
Yeah, because that's all they care about is the dollars, and that's it.
Cut and run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And all this bullshit about, you know, American Lung Association. Okay, yeah, we admit, you know, quit smoking, and you know, we'd love to see you quit altogether. Start vaping, but then, oh well, we're gonna sue the FDA to freaking burn vaping to the ground anyway. You know, it just pisses me off.
Yeah, I got into an argument with a friend of mine he's a school teacher and a politician back in New Jersey. He was a town councilman. He's not like a big politician or anything, but he had put an anti-vaping article up on Facebook, and we had a conversation, and he goes, well, the American Lung Association says that popcorn lung is real and all this stuff, and I said, you know, the American Lung Association takes money from Big Pharma. Oh no, they're independent. It took me all of 2 seconds to go on Google on the American Lung Association's website and pull all their top, you know, their preferred donors, whatever their top donors, and it was all, you know, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, you know, all it was all big pharma companies.
Well, the other one that a lot of people don't know that contributes a lot of money to the hate of this industry is actually the Bloomberg Network.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, you have media, and I'm still trying to get a copy of the show that was on that documentary the other night in the US, so I can actually.
CNBC one. I've only seen snippets of it. I didn't get a chance to watch it live.
Well, I actually want a copy of it so I can cut it to shreds. I need to understand what the hell is going on and who some of the players are behind the scenes. Until we get positive stories into mass media, which isn't going to happen until you have smart people actually pulling together and going to them, putting on a proper suit, having a haircut, shaving your industrial side beard off, and actually sitting down and doing the right thing. I'm sorry, but like the consensus across this panel is we're not kids anymore, right?
Yeah.
We found this technology. I smoked for over 30 years. Back in 2014, when I was diagnosed with emphysema, I had to find a way to get off the stinkies, right? I had to. And this is the only thing that's worked.
Yeah.
Until like I'm nearly 50. I don't care. I still want to live a bit more. But until people really take this fight seriously, the cut and run people in the industry need to be thrown to the wolves. That's for a start.
Yeah.
They're not part of the overall picture. They think about themselves and they think about no one else. Then we have the people that have been in and around the scene for a number of years now, and we try and help as much as we possibly can. And my partner said to me the other day that I'm too kind, and I help too many people. And yes, I've been burnt, and I've been burnt hard. But now, with the role that I've taken on, I will still help people, but it's called, there will be a price attached to it. I'm sorry. I can't just give you 24/7, 7 days a week to help you with your issues. But if it's an issue that I can help you with, I'm more than willing to help. And the infighting has to stop for a start.
Yeah.
All the trade groups need to join together and create one big sledgehammer, walk in the government and say enough is enough. State by state is one thing, right? But no, it needs to go to the Hill. It needs to be brought up on proper dockets and put through, so Congress actually votes on this shit and not state by state. That's what we have here in Australia. State by state votes on it, not at the federal level, which sucks.
Well, the thing here with the federal level is, it takes them 6 months to figure out if they want Scott or Charmin in the bathroom in the office buildings. So for them to get anything done, we need to actually focus as a group on the local and state level, because the federal government's going to do whatever the hell they want anyway. They could give a shit about us because we just don't have enough money for them. But if you can get in on the local and state levels, like Tam, I asked you to pull up a couple of stories earlier in the week about what's going on in the Atlanta area, because I asked you about Alpharetta. And Alpharetta, Georgia, it's a rather, it's a bougie town. For the South, it's bougie. It's kind of uppity. They have their, I've actually delivered to the Jaguar dealership there, and they have Mercedes. I mean, they have all the high-end people and high-end dealerships. Probably a lot of, the professional athletes, they live up there because it's, it's trendy to live there. Well, they have a ban on vape shops in the city limits.
In the city limit.
But you can still buy cigarettes everywhere.
Yeah.
And they actually on YouTube, there was, I can't remember what channel it was that actually had it on, but they were playing the actual hearings, the town hall hearings. And I was watching it on my phone. I almost threw the phone out the fucking window. I was just it was. You saw the old lady that was about 130 that did the Beverly Hills thing, talking about third-hand smoking. It looks like they need to put her back in a cryogenic freezer and bring her back out like in the year 2300. Talk about global freezing, and because by then we'll be reversed. But it was like the same thing. It was just these people were absolutely clueless, and there was not one person in that entire hearing that was defending the vape industry. So there was no surprise that it was a unanimous vote, because there was no one there to stick up for it.
Correct. It's interesting that you even speak to manufacturers that don't know what the hell is going on.
And that's criminal right there. That's so negligent on their own part. They might as well just close up their doors, shut down their website, and just go bye-bye.
But, Addy, how many overnight success stories have you seen in the last 18 months in the liquid industry?
Not like it was in like 15, 14.
Yeah. 15 was a game changer for everything. That's when sub-ohm really took a hold, right? Then you had ultra high quality nicotine arriving into the liquids. You had liquid companies that were once upon a time making probably 1,000 bottles a month. And then they went from 1,000 bottles a month to 1,000 bottles a day.
Yeah, into production.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And you saw, what year was it that Phil Basato actually did the walkthrough at Molecule? Was that 2016, 2017?
I think it was 17.
Right. And the scope of that operation was out of control.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I call a super lab. There was one in Florida, and I can't remember. They had a synthetic nicotine that they were trying to get through. Someone help me out here. And that's also another massive operation. So you had players on each coast, but in between you had other big labs. You had a lot of the players moving to Nevada because of the tax laws, right? To bypass the tax laws and set up shop there and manufacturing.
Now they're getting screwed.
Oh, thank you. This is what I like to watch. But like, Frank, when did you start vaping?
Late 2016 was like this time around. I tried it in early 2015 and it didn't take. But I made the decision on my own in late 2016.
Yeah. What about you, Tam?
Oh wow, I've been vaping since 2014.
Yeah. And you've watched the growth in.
Oh yeah, I was
14, 15 was just massive.
It was mouth to lung, and then those little cute little bitty tanks,
Aspire. Yep.
Yeah, Aspire.
Like the Nautilus minis and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, I still have a bunch in a bucket in the back room.
They're so good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if I had the coils and stuff, but I mean, I wouldn't use them. But and then 2015, yeah, that's when I think I bought. I finally got into some. It took me a minute to get into that sub-ohm, and then I'm going through a bottle this size like a week, 120.
Yep. Yeah.
120 mil like a week, and if not more. And I'm like, this is getting expensive. And then 2016, the regulations are coming in, and I'm seeing this, and I was getting only 1.5 milligram nicotine. And they were saying, oh, we're not going to be making that anymore. We're only doing 0, 3, 6, 9, I don't know, like in increments of 3. So if I wanted to get my 3 milligram and I wanted to buy this big bottle, I would have to buy two. I mean, my 1.5 milligram, I would have to buy 2 of these and mix them together. I was like, this is some bullshit, So I'm like, how hard is it to make my juice? And I'm like, and I don't even know what these guys are doing in the back room. They're going in the back room, and then they're like, oh, I don't want to talk bad about them because I still go there and visit them and say hi. But I'm like, I don't know what they're doing back there. They're kind of
clean room.
Yeah, I know. Who knows what it looks like back in there? They're going back there to this room, and they're kind of scratching.
As long as there's no insulation falling from the ceiling, you're okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what this is, and I'm like, so I want to know what bathtub my juice is being made out of. So that's when I started looking into how to make your own juice, and you can tell from my room.
Yeah, now look at you.
Yeah, you kind of picked up on it.
I kind of picked up on it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But
just dabble a little bit in it.
Yeah, VSO. Yeah, he's right. April 12th, 2016, Basato visits Molecule. And 2015, when I was still doing the DIY show, early 2016 with Fresh and the rest of the crew, we watched the explosion. All of us did then. 2015, 2016, we saw everything ramp up so fast. Multi-millionaires were created overnight. These multi-millionaires now don't give a flying fuck about the industry.
Yeah.
Do I have a battery in this?
What are you getting ready to show us, Tam?
This is an Evic Supreme.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And this was a 30 watt. Let me tell you, I paid, I don't know, 100 over, like, and I mean, you're like, so what? You paid 100, but this was like 2014 maybe. I paid over $100 and something for this, and it went to 30 watts. I said, when in the world will I ever go 30 watts? I'm like, I will never go 30 watts. But this is the coolest thing in the whole world because you could download a picture on it and control your own, see what your puffs were every day and like the graph day by day. I'm like, but it was just the coolest thing. But I'm like, when would I ever go 30 watt? Ever. But now, yeah. So it's just crazy. I still have this smoker. I'll keep it forever.
It's kind of funny. There's a couple setups I have that I've worked my way back down to 30 watts again now.
Yeah, me too. I have some too. Yeah.
And now you have pod systems coming out that are 30 watts. It's like, yeah, throw a 25 milligram in there. Let me know how you make out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I have my BZ, no ZB.
Z-Bip, yeah.
yep.
ZB. It's
But
a beat.
now you're actually hearing stories of, where was I reading it? One of the stories was, can you vape 25 meg in an RDA? And I just went,
No.
are you, what have you been taking? Have you been into your mum's prescription or medicine cabinet? Because if you're going to start doing that, you got serious issues. Serious issues.
I actually got kicked out of a group because I was just trying to educate people about that, and I was saying
Yeah.
they didn't know about salt mix, and I got kicked out. And I was saying I was trying to differentiate between sub-ohm salt mix, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
and then anything above that should be in a very restricted mouth to lung or a pod system, and
Correct.
so yeah, 25 and above, like, come on, because
Yeah,
we
don't.
right now isn't making. When I started vaping in 2011, they were making 12 milligrams, 16 milligrams, 21.
Correct.
All the way
Yeah.
up to 36.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah, but in a mouth to lung.
Well,
not
yeah,
in a,
there wasn't any power to any devices, so yeah.
No, there wasn't. Right. There wasn't. And they kicked me out and said I was misinformed. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, again, just.
Oh, look at what Addie has. Oh, that's so good. Oh, you have the nice
Oh, yeah.
pin.
That-
Thank you. Thank you for noticing my unit. Damn.
Yeah, no problem. I noticed your unit right away.
And people I think are asking that question too, because I think a lot of influencers, I think a lot of manufacturers and stuff like that, people who make hardware, that are well known in this community. When Salt Nick first came out, what was it cool to do?
Drip it.
Come on my RDA. You dumbasses. Like, come on.
No.
I mean, we gotta just be smarter. I know there's no common sense, but like, it's just, I just can't believe it.
So, Paul, I mean, what do you see any of the big players in the vaping industry getting together?
Is this on the record or off the record?
Off. Well, I mean, we are live.
I know. There is chatter that some of the bigger, more established players want to join forces and look for alternative means if things do go south in the United States. They are looking for safe havens to continue operations and ship back into the United States if these bans come into full effect. Give me another week and I will touch on the topic with you again privately, and I will explain who, like I've had, it's like panic stations with some of the people that have reached out to me in the last 24 hours. Ever since I put the post up, and you probably don't know this yet, Christine, but I took on a position with Molenbeek out of Poland, and it's like the sky is falling. Some of the questions that I've been asked in the last 24 hours since I made that post, it's like, oh, hang on a second. I really need to speak to upper level management so I can authorize what you're asking for, because right now I cannot do that. That's not in my wheelhouse.
Right.
I'm helping with things, but I think the first sign of something smart was Vapeasia actually stepping up to the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hope Dinner Lady does the same thing. If you're listening, or if someone knows management at Dinner Lady, I think they should step into the game as well. We already know that Naked 100 is there.
Yeah.
They've been in the fight ever
Yeah.
since the get-go. They're good people. I would also like to see Shinjin
Oh, Shinji.
get into
Yeah.
yeah, I'd like to see them get into the fight as well. Cutwood, we know, is a lost cause because that's part of molecule.
Yeah.
So that's out of that one.
And Dripmore, they only did it because that that was blood money we got from Dripmore that time.
Yeah.
Well, Cutwood was one of the first sellouts.
Correct. When they started building race cars and stuff like that, I just thought, yeah, okay, fine. If you got that much kind of money and you want to build a NASCAR, fine. Go down that pathway. Go and play with your cars. We're not here for cars.
No.
We're here to try and help people save their lives. That's the end game for everyone. But once I speak to a few of these companies over the next few days, I will get back to you and I will explain what their concerns are. But the other company that I am going to say this, I don't want to, but I have to say it. I would like to see Candy King pull their pants down, slap themselves on the ass, and then throw a shitload of money into the fight because
that's
of what
Dripmore. That's what I was.
to the industry.
Yeah, that's Dripmore. The only time they did that was for what was it? To fund the suit. They threw that bunch of money in there. Like they just came out of nowhere and threw like whatever with $50,000 or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, but the save face. That's all that was.
That's irrelevant. The other company that I would like to see really dig in, and these were liquid manufacturers out of China, called Free Life, which also manufacture and co-pack for a number of US companies. I would like to see them put money back into the game. If you've got skin in the game, you better pony up and help.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call now. You know, we got to watch our states, and the players gotta pony up.
Exactly. Next weekend at Vapors Carnival, we're going to be talking a ton of advocacy there. Yeah, Vape Wild, JFM just mentioned. Yeah, they're another one. You know, they need to throw some money in the game.
No comment. There's another company that sponsors a friend of mine's show, actually. They need to get into the game. They need to put money into the fight. They're making, bargain basement liquid. But if you're selling bargain basement liquid, and this year
you're making it on volume.
All I've watched this year is, how low can you go? How much liquid can you punch out there? I'm seeing 120s now for $6. What the hell is that all about?
The bottle cost you, wholesale, that bottle still costing you like 10-15 cents. What you're putting into it, obviously you're not putting much into it as far as flavoring, and it's mostly getting pumped up with PG and sweetener. So yeah, it's cost them a couple of dollars just to make that bottle. So and then you throw shipping in there, they're maybe breaking even.
Well, that's the thing. And I've watched it this year. I've sat back and I've watched it. I've watched certain sectors of the market. When you're putting out $6 120s and flooding the market in certain places, then you've got fire sales going on left, right, and center. For what reason? So what, you can cut and run with, maybe 60% profit? Is that what's going to happen? Smaller liquid makers need to actually join at the hip and create. No, there has to be collaborations. Enough is enough. You all keep your recipes, so be it. You collaborate, you get together. Say you have 10 in your line, okay? You join with another company that has 10, and they find another company that has 10. That stage you have 30. You have enough money for PMTA by that stage. Yeah. Until there's collaboration,
you're not going to survive.
No way in the world, Addy. There's no way, shape, or form. I'm privy to a lot of high level information that I don't tell people about, and I watch things that go on in private groups that I'm part of. Until the collaborations happen, amalgamations of companies need to happen. Take the power away from the distros, which is another thing that needs to be done, because some of these distros are getting way too big, right? They're managing 30, 40, 50 lines. No, enough. Stop that. Amalgamate 2 or 3 liquid makers. You have power in numbers. That's the only way this is going to go through. Or, for argument's sake, the 3 smaller makers that have 10 apiece, you pick the top 5 of your 10 apiece, and they're the ones that you push for PMTA. But until we see the first PMTA come through for a liquid product and we understand the science behind it, no one right now, better be there rubbing their hands together going, oh, I'm going to make $100,000 this week. But next week, it's all gone.
Yeah. I hope your mortgage is paid off.
Yeah, because it's.
I hope you want to go slinging burgers again, because that's where you're going to end up.
I mean, the thing is, for the manufacturers, I mean, we hear about a little bit about what the PMTA process is going to be like for hardware. We talk about the 510s, we talk about this and that, but for e-liquid, we have no clue, and I don't even know if any of the manufacturers even have a clue yet. That's what I'm looking forward to talking to some of them next weekend and seeing if at least the representatives that they bring there to the expo, to see what they have to say about it. See if they even have an idea or a game plan on what they're going to do this time, 10 months from now.
Okay, here's the other thing that I'd like to see at expos. And this is something that I'm asking for people in the industry. Instead of sending, half-naked chicks, I want to see the lab managers. I want to see lab managers there, lab managers collaborating on a professional level, put everything out on the table and see who can help each other. That's for a start.
Yeah.
Secondly,
That would be great.
Secondly, I would like to see a whole corner section of advocates where state reps, you can talk to each of the state reps, but there's more than one state rep there. I would like to see a collaboration on that level as well. Thirdly,
we kind of had that at NVE in Richmond too. I mean, on a little bit of a smaller scale. Like Christine was there doing the stories, and that's when we were doing the flavors. Like Jen Berger Coleman's flavor thing, and David was there, and we had there was a lot of different advocates there, and they had a whole discussion. They had the stage set up and everything, and they did that both days.
Yeah, but I actually mean booths set up where you can actually sit down and have a cup of coffee with other reps and find out what's going on.
Yeah.
And strategize, like what they did in Ohio with a convention there with all the stakeholders. Right? Yeah. If you got skin in the game, you really need to get together and sort this shit out. Otherwise, you're going to crush it for the rest of the world, not just the United States. If it goes south in the US, watch other countries fall.
Yeah.
There will be countries that back against it. The UK is a prime example right now. They're actually putting vape shops in hospitals as harm reduction.
That's awesome.
That's the smartest move I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree, they're probably shitty liquids for all we know, but
does it matter?
I don't care. If you get a doctor's note and you walk down there and they give you a free starter kit and a bottle of juice.
Yeah.
Hello?
And financially, those people are going to be better off anyway, because I think cigarettes over there are astronomical anyway, kind of like the price of gas.
Well, they're astronomical here, up $50, $60 a packet now here in Australia, but people are still smoking and they're actually going without food. That's wrong, right? But I would really like to see the lab managers, not half-naked bimbos running around, selling liquid.
Well, we could have both.
No.
Celebrities.
Yeah.
No, you don't need those. They cost money, Frank.
True.
I keep my clothes on at my booth.
Yes, you do.
I know everyone's probably thankful for that, but
But the thing is, I would really like to be able to walk into an expo because it's going to be part of my job speaking to these companies. I want to meet the lab managers. I want to meet the management behind the scenes that are pulling everything together. Real people with real solutions for the problem that half of them help create. Simple.
That would probably be more of, I know before Kevin Skipper got out of the game, I know he was doing B2B expo.
Correct.
And
Correct.
you know what I mean? And I think there needs to be more of that, because our expos, first of all, you're never going to get promoters to, not bring on celebrities if they can bring on celebrities. Not all they can. It's all about this. That's all they care about. So who's the biggest names that we can bring on? And yeah, it's disgusting. But in the consumers, that not you or I or anybody in the chat or whatever, just the everyday consumers, that's what's bringing them in is the celebrities and the whatever. So I mean, he had it on the money when he was doing these B2B, expos. I mean, and then what happened? Nobody else picked up that ball.
No.
No, I know.
Anybody has.
It's a shame.
And there's been so many expos over the past year that days before they're supposed to go off, they just get canceled because there's just a lack of interest.
Right.
So what else do we have to say about advocacy? Stay involved, collaborate, get together, merge yourself together.
Yeah.
Get along.
If you join at the hip now and create a sledgehammer type approach, you'll get somewhere.
Yep.
Take a block of ice. You need an ice pick and you need a hammer. Chip away at it until you get some solutions and the real deal in the background. That's the only way to do it. And this is from someone that used to be a loudmouth on shows going back a few years. I pulled my head in. I stepped back from the limelight, and look where I am now. Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. I'm still trying to help.
Yeah.
I've got skin in the game. I've got my own liquid line, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to help anyone that's willing to listen. I will give you a solution if I can help. But you need to reach out and you need to be able to prove to me that you're there for good intentions and not to have Lambo money by the end of the month.
Oh, the ego's
Simple.
Check your ego at the door.
Right.
Thank
And
you.
we don't have to all like each other, but we have to hold hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretend your mother's in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I got into a fight with my brother at the dinner table, it didn't matter. You just sit there, you shut up, and you hold hands, and you say, the Lord's Prayer, and you go and eat in peace. And then you can beat each other up later or not, in a public forum. I mean, just, it's so simple, but it's all about ego.
Because here's one thing I'll say about, because I know it's been brought up a little bit in chat, Daniel's video. Okay, that was the worst thing for this industry, that video.
Sure.
Because now the anti-vaping groups, they can pull that video off of YouTube and say, and turn around and say, this is what you're vaping on. You're vaping on stuff that's coming from places like this. And what are we going to do? We created that. Again, I mean, Daniel, you're a good guy, but you made a mistake here, buddy. It's just it's for all of us. It's a bad. It was bad press.
Okay, right. So I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying he made a mistake, but who made the mistake? You got to go around in circles.
Yeah. But
so yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, he posted that, but it shouldn't be where everybody can see it.
Yeah, exactly.
To be taken to the wrong sources. Yes.
I mean, you could say that about the blacklist too. Where did the FDA get all the labels?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes, this is true.
Anybody who posts bad news or about vaping on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, they're
ammunition.
Exactly.
They're just gonna grab it. They're not gonna take.
What is that?
We can post all the pros. It doesn't suit their narrative. So but they're gonna suck in all that that other information.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I saw one video from NVE. There's that one website that Barstool Sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm glad I wasn't there because I would have taken an assault charge and probably still be sitting in Nassau County because I would have knocked that kid the fuck out.
I would have bailed you out, Frank.
Why was he even let in?
Exactly. Yeah, Wittenberg screwed up there by letting him in.
Where was the promoter? Where was the promoter to even? This guy has a reputation. Why was he even let in?
Exactly. You know, he
I
was one.
can't
He was the one that got on
pronounce
national
words.
television and was acting like an ass and made it. You know,
But you know what? It ended up being a good thing for us.
yeah, because I mean, the guy that was ready to knock him the hell out. That he interviewed. I cannot remember that guy's name. I've seen him around, you know, in the community, and you know, he held
He had a
himself
lot of
together.
Great things to say, and it got a lot of press.
Yes, it did.
Right. Yeah. But
I want to talk about e-liquid.
All
I
right.
want to get off this topic.
Awesome.
You know, we're beating a dead horse here. That's just what you got to do. Stay involved. You know, collaborate, get together. You know, manufacturers, if you need Paul's help, we'll give you some help. I want to know what Paul's been mixing lately. Let's hear about some new recipes.
oh, geez, where do you want me to start with that one?
How about a new custard? You got any new custards? What have you been mixing?
This was for a client, and they didn't like it in the end. It's actually a shop mint cookie ice cream.
Oh,
They
nice.
didn't. They didn't like the idea of where I was going with it.
Oh, I
that
sure
was
like it.
Yeah.
that was one that I worked on. The other one is a white chocolate strawberry cheesecake, but with the new cheesecake from Hang Seng. They've actually really.
Let me go into my Hankson drawer.
Yeah, I don't think I have that one. I don't think I've seen that one.
Do I have their cheesecake? Hold on just a minute.
I don't know, Tam. That one might actually have missed you.
Wait a minute. Did that split my screen?
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let's dig into the Hang Seng one for a minute.
Hold on a minute.
So, Christine, you got to hang out with your daughter some, huh? Was that your daughter?
I'm never here anymore. It was nice. Dinner was nice.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook. That's where I was going. I was surprised when you said you were going to be on. I figured, okay, they're hanging out. Awesome.
I do have Hankson cheesecake.
Right. Well.
Yes, I do.
Right. Well,
Why
start
haven't I used it?
start working with it, because it actually works probably a whole lot better than some of the others.
Wow.
The other one that I did was this was a 3-way cheesecake for. I'm still trying to get to the end of this. It is a caramel butterscotch honeycomb cheesecake.
I just like the name 3-way cheesecake.
Ooh.
Like, this is a 3-way cheesecake. I'm like, yeah, Paul, go, okay. I'm down with that.
Okay.
How'd that
I'm
set?
not breaking in.
Yeah, how'd the set go, Adam?
It was good. Actually, on the expressway on the way home right now.
Are you driving?
How you doing? No, Ed's driving. Well, Eddie.
Okay,
Eddie,
good.
Eddie
I was
RC.
worried.
What up, Eddie?
Here.
What up, brother?
You get your bass amp? You get your bass amp back?
Yes, I did get my bass amp back.
Awesome.
I didn't have mine.
Okay. The other thing that I've found by messing around is with their cheesecake, you add their Italian cream to boost the bottom notes of the cheesecake.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
now
I
we're
have
talking.
that.
Now we're talking. Yep.
I was like,
Oh, now I got something to do.
Right?
Not that I
That
did.
works.
add that Italian cream. You can't go wrong.
Exactly.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh! And how many Italian percentages
No,
did I
right?
do there, Frank?
Like a show like ever. And there's wicked traffic still. Fucking crazy, right?
Well, it's
And-
9:45 on a Saturday night, and you're in downtown Chicago. Of course, the traffic is gonna suck.
Oh my
Horse
God.
shit right now.
Horse shit.
Horse shit.
You guys got out early. Good for you.
Yeah, it was an early show. We had to get out of there because there was another show in the same venue at 10 o'clock, and all ages, 21 and over. Ours was 17 and over,
Oh,
had to
okay.
end somewhat early. And then, there was another show at 10 o'clock, so they were like, get the hell out of here, get your gear out. We don't care where you go, but just get it out.
Go.
Hip-hop group playing.
Take care, Wendy. Thanks for hanging out with us. You definitely put a lot of good input out there. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you.
I don't even
Wendy
know.
Vapes?
No,
But
no,
she's a lot of
no.
good-
Wendy Blank.
Wendy Blank. The
So far-
other
Go ahead. Sorry.
the other one that I've been working on is a Kiwi strawberry cheesecake. But going
Ooh.
back to my favourite Kiwi is still Flavor West. Their Kiwi still stands
Oh
up.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
I have
but
that in here.
that's
Oh yeah. Addie Tooney knows that's one of
Yeah.
his favorites, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I
That
love
is-
my Addie's yogurt.
That's the reason why I have Flavor West Kiwi.
I love that Hankston pumpkin pie, Paul. I love that flavoring.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a natural pumpkin flavoring. No, there's no hardly any spice.
that goes.
That was gone the first day you sent
No, it's in there.
The other way, playing with that, you can work with the cheesecake as well and the pumpkin pie, and you can build from that. To impart sweetness, you use white chocolate. To boost the cookie side of it, you actually use vape train biscuit, or the one that they've got. That gives you more of a crust note in the background. Australian chocolate. Oh, Raven, there's a few secrets that you'll see over the next few weeks. Mullenberry's working on some chocolates.
Oh,
That's
their
all.
glamour
That's all
chocolates
I-
Glamour chocolate
is excellent.
No, that's all I can say.
Okay.
Okay.
He can't use his arm
But
anymore.
hey, all I got to say is include me with your little secret, please.
I might.
Tam's already doing some beta testing for someone else, so
All right. Look,
she's got the palate for it.
look. All I know is.
Oh, but I don't belong to anybody.
No, I'm not
Okay.
I
saying
thought you
that.
were saying
No,
I,
no, I'm
okay.
saying that you have to. You've been trusted by other companies to do so, to do some beta testing. So
Oh, okay.
I'm boosting up your resume. Be quiet.
Oh, okay.
I know what he's up to. It's all good.
Okay.
I know that we're working on a number of flavors right now. The production time will vary, but we're looking at a couple of other chocolates. I've been putting ideas to them as to what should be worked on for the market, where some of the gaps are in the industry right now. Vape Train, I'll say this openly, Vape Train made a very bold move when they did the chocolate clear. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a game changer. To be able to actually have a proper chocolate concentrate that was crystal clear.
Yeah.
That was a game changer. Right? Now it's time for Mullenberry One, for us to step up to the plate and to come out with concentrates that are filling the holes in the market, and also doing like the M line and the one shots, things like that, where you can build. We give you a building block, and then you work from the building block and then build upon that. That's where I'd like to see my time with this company go, because I've already got building blocks in my head.
Mm-hmm.
We need, and I still say Fresh is going to kill me. Sorry, Fresh, but we do need more lemonades. We do need more lemonades in the market. I'm sorry, Fresh, but lemonade has to be a thing, right? So come at me if you don't like that comment.
He doesn't want any more light cheese. That's all.
Yeah, he did.
No more light cheese.
Yeah, he did a couple.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind more lemonade.
Yeah, he did a couple today. Yeah, he did a whole show on lemonades today, Paul.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm shit stirring. Well, because I'm a huge lemonade nut. This one that I'm actually vaping on at the moment is a kiwi strawberry lemonade that
Nice.
I've probably finished.
It must be good because it's in a big bottle.
Yeah, all my bottles, they're all 120s. If I make something, it's all 120s for me. Sorry, I don't do 60s anymore. I'll sit here and I'll mix 500 mils for myself of something if I like it. This is going to be a really strange one. Addie might get the gist behind what I'm doing here. A Turkish tobacco cheesecake.
Ooh,
I
that
can
sounds
see
nice.
that.
I love
And-
tobacco.
Yeah, Simon's saying
Right.
he wants a chocolate that works at high wattage that doesn't taste burnt. The only one he has that does that is medicine flowers.
Okay, good. This is feedback that I want. This is the kind of stuff that I can take to the big boys and say, look, this is what we need.
I think, yeah, coffees and chocolates, I think, are
Mm-hmm.
kind of known to be the hardest to, and I think they're both very great vapes. I mean, chocolates obviously can be mixed with anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's something else that we're working on.
So
Yep,
Paul,
go.
we need a shake and bake granola.
Okay, not a problem. It might be 20. It might be 24 hours, but yeah. Well, shake and vape off the taste, it could be quite good.
And some cherries that aren't as touchy.
Yeah, oh, good cherry, right? Yeah.
Cherry is like Robitussin to
It's
me.
cherry's so hard to work with. The only one that's usable, well, I guess the Mullenberry red cherry I've seen. I really haven't messed with it yet. I know there's a couple recipes I want to mix with it of other people's just so I can get a feel for it. But yeah, the Mulberry Red Cherry is supposed to be pretty good, but then Liam's notes, I think he kind of didn't care for it too much. I think he was talking about that Robitussin note with it. But in a way with cherries, if you
Yeah.
like Addie has the perfect
cherries.
way to use that with the boysenberry and the forest fruit.
Yeah.
And they make that
That's
that dark
that's
cherry
the
out of
other
it.
that's the other thing that I'd like to see. One of the guys that does a lot of mixing using Mullenberry, he's come up with a basis of something similar to forest fruit. There's a recipe lurking around with that. Now,
Yes, I know who you're talking about and
yeah.
what you're talking about.
yeah, well, that's the basis if you actually have a look at it. But I would like to see that as a single concentrate now. And that's what I've asked. That's what I've asked them to do. Well, I'd like to see that as a single concentrate now. I'm sorry,
Awesome.
but that needs to be done. That's a no-brainer.
Aaron is awesome. He is a great
I
listener.
know. So you did actually see that post,
Yes, I did.
right?
Yeah, someone's asking me, Timmy's coffee flavor, is it double or just straight up? Because straight up their coffee is okay, but when you add their proprietary cream and sugar to it, now that's what makes it. Kind of like Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. That's the other thing that we'd like to see, a donut that's not Play-Doh, but donuts have been done and dusted.
Yeah.
I would like to see variations of pineapples. I would like to see another version of Apollo Fajola, the fruit.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see a much stronger one where you only use 0.1 to 0.25% in a recipe and it holds. It doesn't fade after about a week and a half.
Yeah.
I would then like to see a couple of other strawberries, but not the ones that we've seen so far. I'd like to see a strawberry that has the stem removed, but it's very, very ripe, almost like a hydroponic strawberry, that type flavor, like big and bold, but without the green stem. I'd like to see that. That's something else. And then for fruits that aren't very common, I'd like to see them added to the lineup. I'd like to see a lot more citrus that works together and plays well together instead of having a harsh back note to it when you're ripping on it, and you don't have to bend the hell out of it with sweeteners. That's another thing.
Yeah, that's the problem I've had with citrus is once it finally settles down, then the next day it's gone. It goes from harsh to it's right there, and then boom, just straight drop off, and you can't even taste it.
But then the problem that you've got with it, especially with tangerine, sweet tangerine, Capella sweet tangerine, and FA sweet tangerine, both of them have the inherent problem that they disappear after 5 days.
Yeah.
That's an inherent problem with tangerine. It hides in the background. that needs to be punched up and brought forward. That's something else I'd like to see worked on. And I'm going to ask all of you, if any of you could have any flavour on the planet made, what would it be?
You already heard mine.
Well, we know that. Granola for you, Frank.
Oh, it's probably a banana. A banana that's not too candy like. That doesn't have any. It doesn't remind you of runts. Even if
Okay.
it's a little bit green, kind of like they. I still have to mess with it. That this was it the bamboo milk green banana thingy from Mullenberry, the one shot. So they may already have it. I just haven't messed with it yet.
What is the name of that grape that I like? It's not a grape. A muscadine.
Oh, muscadine berry, yeah.
Okay.
I want a muscadine.
I had a question because I don't DIY. So
Sure.
why is it, because maybe it's just me and my palate, I don't know, but every single grape commercial, if it's got grape in it, that I have tested and reviewed, tastes floral to me. Is that me? Or it's either floral or powdery?
Well, it could be the grape they're using.
It's not you as such. Okay, chemistry lesson very quickly.
Yeah, I'm curious.
At the molecular level, the concentrates that are used, or the chemicals that are used to create a grape flavour, inherently have either a powdery back note to it, or floral. It will be floral for the most part, depending on the mixing process and where it's mixed and the time of year it's also mixed, unless it's in a completely controlled lab type setup. Whether it's heater mixing, overhead stirrers, whether you're using what do you call them? Oh, I can't even think for the last one.
Magnetic ones.
When you, yeah, that's it. Yeah, homogenizer. That's the word that I'm looking for. When you're punching out 250 litres at a time, you're imparting massive amounts of air into the mixture, and then it settles back down to what you're going to be working with. They're the problems. Grape is something that's like tiramisu. Tiramisu is the holy grail.
Yeah.
No, seriously, you ask any mixer on this planet, tiramisu is the holy grail of vaping. If someone could figure it out 100% from woe to go.
There's so many layers to be able to taste every layer, not it being muddled.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The other one that I personally want to see, because I like eating it, is baklava.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That phyllo.
You've got it in one, man. You've got it in one. So, but no, grapes a nightmare. Cherries a nightmare. That's...
I thought it was me because a lot of people
No.
like
No.
every single time I get my hands on a grape, and of course the manufacturers that make it, oh no, not ours.
No, not
I
at all.
feel like that VT.
I go, oh, here we go again.
That VT Shisha Black Currant is a nice grape.
Jackpot.
Mm-hmm.
Jackpot. But it was never intended to be
Yeah.
It was never intended to
I know
be.
it's crazy.
Now Shane has a good grape, and his to me tastes more of like a green seedless grape, but it's still really good, really authentic.
Right.
Adam, can you hear us, Adam? He probably doesn't have
I
his.
can hear you guys. Yep, I just muted because there's traffic and I got the window down because I'm vaping and whatnot.
What kind of flavoring do you want to see that's not out?
Oh my gosh! Flavoring I want that doesn't exist. That's wow.
Because we got lab works here that'll tell them to make it.
I feel like I need homework for this.
Fine. Get back to me on it. It's fine.
So how about this? Florals that don't have throat hit would be nice. Personally, 'cause I'm into that. I don't know how many vapors are. That's a niche, but I like violet, and Flavor Art Violet is violent.
Yeah, it is nasty.
There's a secret to actually getting around that.
Live there.
Yeah, it came to me when I was messing around with it. You actually put one drop of WS-23 10% by volume into a 30 mil mix, and it takes that edge off, that back edge off it. It's a trick. It's a trick that I found out by sheer accident. And
Awesome.
putting one drop into a 30 mil is not going to bend or change the flavor in any way, shape, or form, but it knocks the edges off. It's another Swiss Army knife that not a lot of people are working with correctly.
See, getting all that knowledge out there, Frank.
Heck yeah.
Wow.
I'm always learning from everybody. I take everybody's information in. I love it.
Yeah, if you think you've learned it all, then
Then you haven't learned anything.
pack up and go home.
If you think you've learned it all, you haven't learned shit.
When you sit here 7 days a week and mix, and that's your job, that's all you're doing.
So Tam, what do you want to see?
Yeah.
Well, I said
The grape.
what did I just say, Frank? The
Well, no,
grape thing.
Well, Christine said the grapes. She about how
Well, it
grapes
wasn't
always.
a grape. It's a big
Oh, the
grape.
muscadine berry.
Muscadine.
Yeah. Well,
And
it's a southern thing, muscadine, for the most
It's a
part. But,
southern berry, but it's in the grape family, really.
yeah,
It's
because
not a
it's used for wine here. It's very sweet.
Oh, I just love. I love it.
That's all I can get as far as local wines. That's all it is here is muscadine.
Yeah, muscat.
Mhm.
No, it's a type of grape.
I would vape all day, and I'm going to bring it up again, and again, the Italian in me.
Yeah.
An actual traditional good cannoli vape.
Cannoli.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I knew that's. I was about to say it.
Not vanilla pudding, not chocolate pudding, not rolled in Fruit Loops or
Yeah.
No.
blasphemy. I want a nice sweetened ragout, filling.
Yeah. That's something I've been working on for 2 years, and still can't get to where I like it enough to say, "This is I've done it."
Well, the filling's the easy part, right? That's very much the easy part. It's actually creating the cannoli shell.
Because no one's no concentrates have replicated it even close yet. Flavor Arts, Joker, it's 50% there. Health Cabin egg roll. Health Cabin egg rolls maybe 45% there. I don't even think it's as good. I mean, I know some people love it and they think, oh yeah, you can use it as a cannoli shell. You can if you build on it, but it's still not like Christine's saying. It's not a cannoli.
No, I understand, because there's two variations of cannoli that I know of. The deep fried cannoli, and then there's also a baked cannoli. The baked cannoli takes on a completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
But the deep fried cannoli, that goes down into the oil that it's actually cooked in. That's where you can impart other flavors. I've seen cannoli shells here in Australia actually being cooked in peanut oil, and it takes on an inherent peanut taste into the shell itself. So, and then you fill that with like a heavy caramel cream or a heavy I've even seen a strawberry cream, and then it's got the peanut undertones. That's like food porn. That's serious.
That sounds so good.
At easy, you're just going.
I'm thinking, where's that? My Kanako soy.
He's just got this recording device under the table.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be here late at night.
Yeah.
I
already
need
have it written out.
Eddie, you can send it to me. I've done transcription for years. I got you.
Oh, here we go.
I'll have that back to you in 3 days.
Perfect.
Next minute.
Yeah, I'm the house.
The other, the Barry White of juice. Here we go.
What's up now, Chef?
Yeah, how the hell did I get that one? That's interesting. But look, I'm passionate about what I do, and I come up with some of the weirdest and wildest type mixes. But cannoli, yes, so be it. I'll see what I can do about that one. But again, that's another little hint. If you impart some form of peanut into a cannoli base, it will bend what you're originally working with.
Have you tried that caramel popcorn and peanuts Wonder flavors yet?
No.
Oh, it's really
Wonder flavors in Australia. There's one. There's one distributor.
You guys in Flavor World?
Yes.
Yeah, John Connor.
Yeah, John.
The thing is now, it's sad that he's just dropped the Mullenberry line from his stash. But
Did he really?
yes.
What? He didn't even have it a year.
I don't know behind it, but
Okay.
Wonder flavors, I'll reach out and I'll start playing with some of it. But no, I haven't tried it. Now you got me thinking what I could do with it, because I could add some white chocolate and some form of ice cream to it and go from there, and I'd have very different undertones.
Or just
along
make
that
Tam's
pathway.
jacked up Sunday and call it a day.
Yeah. Adding strawberries and ice cream and stuff like that to it, you'd end up with some form of sundae. Because I watch MasterChef here, and I get a lot of inspiration from the desserts as to what I'm going to come up with and how I'm going to play the game. And they've been playing with popcorn. They actually did a smoked popcorn ice cream.
Oh, that sounds different. In
Yeah.
a good way.
And I thought, well,
What
in
did they
part,
do?
the smoked popcorn ice cream. Bizarre, I know, but
so you're
I think
like halfway to Mexican ice cream right there already.
Yeah.
bingo. That was my idea. Lollygobble bliss bombs. Oh dear, I remember that stuff. The other things that I'd like to see now is a range of gelato bases to work from and sorbet bases to work with. That's something that is needed. I know Vape Train, they've got a sorbet base, but it does funky things if you push it. That's something that I found with that one. I would like to see variations of melons and melons that aren't common. And I would also like to see legacy lemons. Lemons, like different lemons, like legacy type varieties, like old school legacy varieties. A proper lemonade lemon. The old school. I'd like to see another take on Capella Lemon Lime. Even though it's one of the best in the game, I still want to see another take on it.
I like using that as a cooling agent.
Yep.
Without adding, WS-23 or whatever. Just there you go.
Oh,
and I'd like someone to come up with a good soft pretzel that's just not all yeast.
Big one.
Wait, what do you have?
this
Capella
is Capella.
lemon lime.
I actually put this in my beer.
Oh, we're putting that in Corona. There you go.
And bada bing.
Yeah.
This
It's probably what's in Summer Shandy. It's probably Capella Lemon Lime.
So, Tam, what did you... Oh, sorry, Paul.
Go.
What do you?
Oh,
what
what
did
did
you
I
mix
just
up
pull?
this week, Tam?
Oh gosh. I mixed up a lot of different people's recipes this week for review, but they're kind of steeping. And I mixed up a chocolate cookie pudding. That's a Flavora based recipe, and it's really good. And I have,
Graham.
yeah, it's yummy. And I have some testers that are VSO, just so, because I think he put in there that there's some beta. What did he put in there? For you to look in your mailbox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have some little testers here that are steeping, ready for me to vape and test.
Awesome.
Yeah, I won't talk about them and say what they are though.
Not allowed.
No.
I'm not saying what they are.
What about you, Frank? You been mixing this week?
I really haven't had a lot of time. I ended up working today. I was running errands, and I did some mixing. I did another custard last Sunday night. Before I vaped that all week. Almost went through a 60 ml with it. I used that legendary custard from Mullenberry in it, with the custard premium. I think I may have muted it out there using the custard premium. I think I went too high on the trying to boost it up. I think I just made a little bit too creamy, but it's still good. It's a butterscotch custard.
Oh, yeah.
It comes back after 5 days.
Yeah,
It reappears.
It did. Yeah, it kind of did. Yeah.
Wait,
It
what
comes
comes
and it
back?
goes.
The legendary custard.
Oh, okay.
I beat it up, put like 4% FA custard premium in there.
Oh, okay.
I think, Rin used to be a beta tester for Mullenberry years ago.
Yep, correct. Yeah.
She loves the. I think I only have like one Mullenberry flavoring.
We'll fix that.
That's exciting.
I'm gonna say Adam has more Mullenberry than you, Addy.
Yep.
Adam has at least 31 because I sent him 31 of them.
Nice.
Things are actually going to change, I think, over the next few months. I want to see people collaborate on a different level. If they're given more paints in their paint box, I think there's going to be some interesting stuff.
Well, I definitely think that my mixing has improved after I started getting more and more concentrates.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes.
Not that I gave them to him all,
No.
but I influenced him.
She's kind of like, you know how like retailers have buyers?
Yeah.
There you go.
If you just give me your credit card, I'll tell you what to buy.
Ooh,
Yeah, I could.
yeah,
be your
okay.
flavor
No,
buyer.
no comment for that one.
Mm-mm.
TCAT, there was a pizza
Enabler.
actually made that was made by Giancarlo.
Yeah.
Was it Armageddon?
Yeah.
It was
Phantom ravioli.
Giancarlo, Phantom ravioli. It actually takes on the there it is there.
Mm-hmm.
It actually takes on almost a pizza pocket type flavor.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre liquid.
Yeah.
How much AP turned out to be in it? Like 30%?
Yeah. Yeah. And bacon
Great.
flavoring. Bacon.
Wow.
And like 101 cheese or something, was it? Or FA cheese? I think it was 101.
Yeah. And
The pizza from,
was it Effie? I can't remember.
I think it was FA's pizza, which you can't even get anymore.
Yeah.
No. But there's some really bizarre flavors out there if you really go looking for them.
Oh my God. 101 has some.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've looked through their list.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
What the?
well, now their
What are
site
they-
is confusing because they have all jumbled together. There's stuff that you can vape and then stuff you can't vape that goes for flavorings and all that. They put them all together, at least on the mobile side of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell?
That's the other thing I want to see. I want to see websites properly put together with stuff that's specifically for one market and not for the other. You see a flavor that you want to work with, and it's like, hang on a sec, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then,
I
not
don't
for
want to have
this.
to consult the MSDS, whatever it's called now, to see if I can use it and to vape.
Yeah,
Mhm.
kind of like the problem we had with Loran's for a while, so they kind of got separated a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, some of them. Look, Loran's is a special type situation because some of their extraction processes, they're natural. So inherently they're going to have an oil base to them.
Yeah.
So they can't be used.
Yeah, you don't want to get lipid pneumonia.
No.
No. That's a strange one. Yeah, VS. Yeah, water soluble is your friend. Correct. And this is another thing that a lot of people don't understand, that some concentrates are extractions, or they have an alcohol base to them. And shaken vape is not going to remove the alcohol from the recipe.
No.
So inherently the recipe will be thinner. And people are wondering, well, why is my liquid thinner? Because you have not burnt off the alcohol content in that liquid. That's why if you're working with an alcohol-based concentrate, and I'll say this openly to everyone that wants to know the secret, you really do need a heated stirrer, a stirring plate, to actually remove that from your liquid before it's nicked. If not,
Before it's nicked, yes, thank you.
Yeah, before it's nicked, 100%. And then you let it actually settle overnight before it's nicked. Because you've got three reactions going on there. You've got the alcohol reaction burning off. You have the nicotine reaction that start the oxidization process. And the third one, you're trying to blend flavors into and impart it into the base product. So until you understand the real principles behind mixing, and when you go from shake and vape DIY to your first attempt at some form of commercial, or the commercial rule book, and then you go from there, and then you're scaling up a recipe, you have to understand, you have to be able to understand all the different components on how it's actually made. That's why we use different equipment.
Yes. I that's what I just did when I was doing this. I was doing my magnetic heated stirrer.
Yeah.
And I do not nick it until later, much later.
Right.
It's got to cool down.
24 hours. Stalker, that depends on the concentrates that you're actually working with, whether or not they're PG-based concentrates, VG-based concentrates, or there are other like carriers. And also if it's a proper or a full-blown alcohol extraction, which has got a high alcohol content, from 60 degrees Fahrenheit and upwards, some flavors you actually need to take them to 72, 75, all the way at 82 Fahrenheit before they'll break apart and bond back together again. So that's it.
Oh, Simon, you nick it?
Paul, laying down the knowledge. Appreciate it, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's fine. These are things that need to really be put out there.
It's not out there either, this information.
No.
If you want to know about heated mixers, you have to dig for that information. It's not readily available.
Yeah, it's almost you have to be a chemist to know this stuff.
Yes.
Well, I someone's asked me a question on the side here.
That's cool.
I personally, if someone was willing to do, proper video editing for me, I would actually like to put out a lot of the commercial secrets and actually teach people the right way. It's all well and good that you want to do shake and vape. Instead of buying concentrates 1 month, buy yourself a magnetic stirrer. I'm telling you this from
Frank?
From a perspective.
Yeah, I know. I need to get one. I'm going to.
From a perspective.
On my list.
Yeah. If you come up with a recipe, right? Here's something that I don't often talk about.
I don't either. I never talk about that.
Yeah, Shane, 78.8 to remove alcohol, but certain alcohols that they're using in the bases now, they remove at different temperatures. They can go as low as 62 and 60. Yep. It is a speed steeper in some aspects, but if you come up with a recipe that you really like vaping, okay, instead of sitting there and making 30 mils, test out 100 mil mix in a stirrer, then test out 250 mils in a stirrer, see if it holds, then test 500, and if it holds, bada bing, you're on your way to a commercial type recipe. If it holds at 500 mils, you know that you can scale it up from there. It's not a problem. After the 500, I do a tester of a litre. And if it holds at a litre, you know that you can definitely scale it and it's not going to fall apart. Simple.
Well, some of that stuff you could put in right on the Mullenberry site. Maybe you guys could do like a DIY.
That's, yeah. Mullenberry actually has a channel on the YouTubes. I'd like to work with them on putting out real information, proper information.
I had no idea they had a channel.
Yeah, they do. There was a couple of small videos that they've done for product releases and things like that, and it was professionally done. But I think that if a proper series of videos were put out that were properly done, like ultra high grade professional quality videos, it would help the community actually understand a whole lot more of what goes on behind the scenes when big labels and big makers are actually trying to formulate. Because once you scale up, sometimes recipes fall apart. But you have to figure out whether or not they can hold commercially at 1 litre before you can go to 200 litres, 500 litres. I know some companies that their recipe will hold up to 10 litres, but then it starts falling apart. And then we have to try and go in and look at the recipe, look at the chemistry behind it, and see what the problem is, and then help them get around that issue or that problem.
Wow, that's crazy.
I keep trying to copy and paste these stirrers on Amazon, and the links are too darn long. They're like 230 characters. I'm like, what the hell are they doing?
You know.
It's YouTube telling you not to put
Not put Amazon out there, yeah.
Probably, yeah. Well, that's probably the case. What's going on here? We got atoms everywhere. We got one looking at the ceiling. We got one playing a bass. One, yeah, okay. It's all over the joint here. But I'd really like to break down the barriers between the commercial marketplace and the DIY community. I think it needs to be done once and for all. New Amsterdam was very, very good at doing what he did and how he put out his videos. He had an amazing voice, which you could actually understand, and he went through things at a pace where it's not an issue. I just think it's time for someone. I'm willing to do it. That's not the issue. I just hope we've got the time before everything not implodes, but if we can put more knowledge out there for the community, I'm all for it.
Yeah, Goose Girl asked, how long do you normally heat the liquid for when you stir?
Depending on the PGVG content, if it's high VG, I'll let it sit on a stirrer, just stirring away in the corner for an hour and a half. I'll turn the heat off and just let it stir by itself until I know it's blended, and then I'll use a teaspoon or a pipette to see where it's at, just see if you can actually taste the blend or the different levels. Everything has its own mixing time. Nothing is straightforward. Some mixes, like this strawberry lemonade, 15 minutes and it was done, because like one of the concentrates in here is an alcohol-based concentrate, so it was bang, done, finished. I like this stuff too. It's pineapple orange sparkling water.
I've been getting this stuff over here. It's called Body Armor, and it has like coconut water in it. And I just found that I was vaping I was drinking the regular ones, and the sugar content on them was kind of high. And the light ones, I'm thinking, am I gonna like it? And I tried. There was a peach mango, and it was the light one. It only had like 9 grams of sugar as opposed to like 18 or something in the other one, and it was still really damn good.
Yeah. This one's zero sugar. This one's just flavorings and sparkling water, and I like this. I'd like to do a line of these actually, and something else that I'd really like to work on if I get the time. I would like to do flavor shots for sparkling water. I'd like to do a line of flavor shots.
Over here, that's big. A lot of people use them over here. There you go.
That's
They
it.
have the crystal
Yeah.
light type of things. Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to bring out a line like that from a DIY perspective, that you could blend 2 shots together and then flavor up a bunch of water, even still water for that matter. That's something I'd like to do.
Yeah, there's definitely a market for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all of us that are mixers, I don't think we're just going to walk away from it.
No.
I really don't think we're going to walk away from it. We just need to find other ways to apply our craft to other things. And the other thing, if you want to boost, like just a regular cake that you're baking, go and get some TFA banana bread and throw that in.
Oh,
What's that?
TFA
What's
banana
that?
bread's awesome.
Throw that shit in pancake batter.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know. I was just about to get to that.
So good.
In the pancake batter, it works unbelievably.
Yeah, like a tablespoon or 2.
Yeah.
Ah, it's so good.
I don't think
Hi,
you need
everybody,
to use
by the
even
way.
that much.
Hi, Adam.
You're in your homeroom,
I am. Early show.
your
I love
regular
it.
space.
I love
So
early
Adam, this
shows.
is Paul and this Christine, Adam. That's
Oh, I know Paul. I know Christine, but I don't think we were ever on a show together. So it's actually nice to be in a room with you, Christine.
Right?
I've been watching you for years.
I was the same way. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
Adam, it's nice to meet you. I'm teasing.
Likewise, Glam Tam. Wait, how did I know that you were Glam Tam?
Yeah, that's not on my name there. Yeah, go ahead.
Lady in Black.
There you go.
Too funny, guys. Way too funny.
We are. We're a riot.
I have some quality IPAs in me right now, so I'm in a good ass mood.
Nice.
Oh, my.
I have a question for all you guys that mix. So do all of you guys that mix like to cook?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I dabble. I like the grill. I like to mix different spices and make different rubs and stuff like that.
Because I hate to cook. I like to bake more than I like to cook, but I hate, which is probably why I like dessert flavor. But I don't like to cook, and I said that's why I fail at DIY all the time. I don't have the patience for it. I picture you guys on every single moment of your free time in your little cubicles, just like, turn your phones off and you're just, in front of the computer and in front of all the mad scientists,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, I don't got time for this. I'll just order a pizza.
after a while, it gets pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just developing something.
Yeah, you start to see recipes and then you're like, oh, I know how to do that in vape form.
Mhm.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, blah, blah, blah. And then you just start to shout out percentages. You become Fresh 03.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
don't know.
I'll come up with ideas all week long, and I'll just put
Yeah.
concept mixes together on ELR, and
Yeah.
then when I get home, I'll look at them and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what I was thinking there. That wasn't a good idea. So. Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
I'm lazy vaping right now. I have Meter Made Melon from VSO.
Oh, it's so good.
But then my other Addy that I brought to the show, I had some Mullenberry soft banana, some Epic vanilla, some melty caramel, and then I added some
Nice.
TPA vanilla custard and something else to it, and it's really nice. I was vaping that with some cervezas. Oh, it was so good.
Nice.
You got home fast.
Yeah, surprisingly. There's minimal traffic today. Wasn't too bad. Yeah, there was another show at the venue at 10, so like we had to clear the hell out of there because there's like a hip hop band. It's like their 10th reunion show or something tonight. So that was at 10. So they were like, get out.
Whole different crowd coming in.
Yep, definitely. I kind of wanted to stay.
A recent recipe to share. We were talking about that a little bit earlier, Pippa.
Yeah, we were talking about that already.
I'm
Uh,
where is it? On my desktop, I suppose. I think.
He's just stirring it up. That's okay.
keep it on that strawberry gizzard custard right now.
Oh.
They're swagalicious.
Yeah, I gotta get an order in sooner
Mine's
than
looking a
later.
little low. I might have to order some concentrate.
What is low? What do you got low there?
Look at this.
He's running low.
Oh no.
It's a sad state of affairs.
Right, now, Chef, isn't that all nice and clean? I love it.
Oh no, chef.
Set up.
Shit.
Yeah, behave. The
Not
chef
Chef.
here.
Bomb. I still vape his grape recipe to this freaking day.
I can sit and listen
No
to him
grape,
talk to
grape
you all
yolk.
night.
Oh, I know. That's the next one ever.
Yeah, it's so soothing.
Where is it? 7-6. I think that's it. Yeah.
You want black pepper? Just get some either some really bad nicotine, or just get some if you're a pepper taster, get the TFA vanilla bean ice cream.
No, FA has a black pepper flavor, don't they? I think it's always
Yeah.
on sale at ECX because nobody wants it.
Yeah, that's probably one of the last ones. It's part of the kitchen line. It must have been something they had left over in stock.
Yeah, you could probably get 1,000 milliliters for like fucking 79 cents, probably.
Probably.
I like that.
Oh, that's like, was it Real Flavors has the baked bread that's supposed to be really good, but I think it's a VG one, isn't it?
Oh, the VG.
Yeah.
Yeah, the PG one's supposed to suck. And that's another thing. Like, I've had people ask me to mix for them, asking for like VG only recipes because they're real sensitive to PG, and I'm just like, I can't help you. It's just
Talking about VSO is talking about using the heat low. I think he's saying because his first. I don't know if that's what he was talking about, or the stir low, because his first experience was not pleasurable.
I think
I don't know which one he's talking about. But I do have to say, one time when I first started with the stir, I just had it. I wasn't paying attention. I just had it on. It was heating, and I didn't even pay attention. And I had Flavor Art cookie. And let me just tell you, you can cook Flavor Art cookie in a stir. You really can. It was burnt cookie after it was done.
oh wow.
Not good. Yeah, it was burnt cookie. I baked it. I was like, this is burnt cookie. So that's
All
your
right.
opinion there, but no, we appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Here's the recipe. This is a tropical crush. It's all vape train. This is something that I messed around with, and the sweet cream, the vape train sweet cream is actually what finishes it. All right. Here you go, guys. Vape train passion fruit mango at 3%, the pineapple at 1, the guava 0.5, shisha banana at 0.5, super sweet at 0.25 or to taste, and then the last one is VT sweet cream at 0.25.
Nice. I still have to get that sweet cream. I put it in my list after seeing Develop's cream. The cheese Danish they did.
It works. It is a very, very sweet cream. There's no two ways with it. But you push it and it takes on other notes.
Okay.
You leave it low and it works. You can push it 1%, but 0.25 in this. It helps the banana round out, the shisha banana, because that's a really, really potent banana. But, yeah, there's one little recipe for you guys.
Nice.
Nice, Paul.
Oh yeah.
And thank you.
That looks
Yeah,
delicious.
and the other thing is now that I'm doing what I'm doing with Mullenberry, none of my recipes are online anywhere anymore. I've had to pull them all down.
Yeah,
and I just work with offline mixing software.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all well and good, but
Well, after a while, you almost don't even need the calculator anymore because it's all in your head.
no,
I need a calculator.
no, you.
Well, let's
You
say
took-
if you're mixing, let's say you're doing 500 mils, and you're using something at 3%. All right, well that's going to be 15 mils.
Yeah, I hear you. That's
Yeah, I'm not that smart.
no comment.
I forget that.
Yeah, the only one you need
I
no to
mean,
gravity
I just-
for is the VG. Really, everything else, the PG, you can go 1-to-1, but I guess in commercial, you probably really would need to have the specific gravity numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1-to-1's good enough.
No. Everything I work with, all the numbers that I work with is nicotine 100 milligram in PG is 1.035 grams per mil. PG, I keep that at a constant of 1 gram per mil. For VG, it's 1.2 grams per mil.
Yeah. And
for overall in flavorings, I work at in majority of my recipes that I do at 1.040 grams per mil, because it's an overall representation of what most concentrates are.
Okay.
So it's a median number that I've come up with over the time, and it works, and it holds true to, because every recipe then at 1.040,
It's gonna be consistent.
you know that you can just dial it in, done.
It makes total sense.
Yeah. Well, I've got all. There was someone that actually went through and did all the actual weights, specific gravities.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the lists of that, and I look at it, and the median for me was 1.4.
1.04. Yeah.
1.040. Yeah. So it helps you keep it consistent. It helps you to make everything a lot easier. If you remember the numbers and you just dial it into your software or wherever else you're working from, then it comes out the same each and every time. Like, I used to be like Addy. It was by drops per mil, and then I stopped doing pipette time. I still love the old school. It's fun. Yeah, I just had to make things a whole lot easier on myself and anyone else that was asking for some
large
type of
quantities,
solution.
yeah.
Hey?
You can't tell the production house, well, just so many drops of this, and
Yeah, it's not gonna fly.
When I first said that to someone, they laughed at me so fucking hard. It was hilarious. And I just said, well, oops. You don't have the specific gravities? You don't have specific gravities for us? Yes, I do and I don't, but you never asked me that in the email. So 6 drops of essence of terror, 5 drops of sinister sauce. When the stirring's done, may I lick the spoon? Of course, of course. Good old Milton the Monster. Jeez, I don't know where that came from, but it was there in the back of my head. The best strawberry and kiwi pairing and why? My strawberry stone is actually made up of 6 different strawberries now. My kiwi, to this day, Addy Tooney put me onto it a number of years ago, and it's still Flavor West Kiwi. I work with vape chain strawberries, all the shisha, the sweet, the regular. I've gone away from TFA strawberries now. I'm now working with the Mullenberry strawberries, but I want to see more development in the strawberries from Mullenberry down the pathway. I want to see development into all of the berries. I want all the I want all of them. I want all of the berries. Solu has a great kiwi. Yeah. Hang Seng also has a good kiwi. But it's just a different type of kiwi. Flavor West has always been the brightest, and it holds very, very well at low percentages. Simple.
All right,
Well, Frank, I'm starting to hit a wall
yeah,
here.
yeah. I
got
was just about. I looked at the times again. About time to wrap this up and get us East Coasters get to bed, and
Getting close.
because we're
to
all
that.
East Coasters except for well, I guess technically, Paul, you're an East Coaster, just East Coast of Australia.
Yeah,
Midwest,
that's
yo.
that too.
We're all on the East Side, yo.
Oh, here we go. Yep, all good. I hope that I've answered a few questions.
I appreciate having you on. I mean, lots of insight in all different realms.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
well,
awesome
thanks,
having
Chef.
you,
I
Paul. Thanks
appreciate
for
that.
stopping in and,
Yeah, it was great for you to come on. It's been great talk and conversations.
Addie, it's great
Thank
to have
you.
you on my channel again. It's been a while.
Oh, I love you, Frank.
I
Anytime.
love you too, brother. Christine, where can everybody still find you, the ones that don't know you?
Ones that don't know me, you can't.
Rude.
It's my friend limit. Just kidding. My reviews will be back up in the next week and a half. I'm just working on a new intro for Beauty and Vape, so you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Very Vocal Vapors. The website's down right now, but I have a Facebook page. Just type in Very Vocal Vapors. You can email me through there if you guys want to set up, a story. I'm always available. So
Yeah, for people that don't realize, you can sit down in a Zoom with Christine and tell your vape story, and she will get that to your local representatives.
I might take you up on that, Christine.
oh, I love
For
it.
real.
I actually prefer those than the ones done at Expo
Definitely.
because I get to know the person better and everything like that. And
More
I'd be
time
down
to
for
spend and one-on-one, not all the chaos around. And
yeah, no, it's great. A lot of people haven't taken advantage of it. So I really like the people that do. So, it's great. You just get to do it out of the comfort of your own home. Like, can't get much easier than that.
exactly.
Oh, show.
No blow up couch.
No problem.
So, Adam, what's your schedule looking like for Eddie and the Arsons and the Disheartened?
I don't ever know. I actually have to always look at our website to find out when we're playing. I'm pretty sure I'm free next weekend.
Yeah, and there's no show next week, and I have a wedding to attend.
Of course. I think
Of
I'm actually
course.
free for the next 2.
Cool.
So, should be around for the next show for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
next,
we
yeah, 'cause
definitely
next
have a-
Saturday I'm going to the wedding, and Sunday I'm going to the expo in Raleigh. So
Oh, nice.
Friday night I'm going to
we
the
definitely have shows
pre-party.
coming up for the summer. Like, we're definitely going to be playing this summer, but it's not, like, crazy. I told Ed, like, don't kill me, please.
Yeah, they're
We're getting
having
old,
they're
man.
having 2 pre-parties for this expo next week, and one's right here in Greensboro at Bad Motter Fogger's place, and the other one's at the Trinity Vapor Lounge right outside the venue, basically in Raleigh, which is the head of the North Carolina Vaping Coalition. That's his shop, and the one here is basically one of the top members of the coalition, Ron Peoples, his place, and the one here is open bar. Just tip your waitress.
Jesus.
That's
Dangerous.
Wow.
Ticket, Frank, but I didn't get it. So I don't know.
What's that, Christine?
I was waiting for my email with my plane ticket.
Oh.
but it didn't come.
Well, I kind of had a flood here, so kind of put.
Oh, is that what happened?
Had 40 gallons of water in my heat pump.
Yeah, come to the ceiling.
Yeah.
God. Okay, I'll forgive you this one.
Okay, well, thank you.
Paul, do you have any links you want to drop in the chat?
Not at the moment, because a lot of my links are actually they're actually changing.
Okay.
Because now I've actually got a private email address at Mullenberry for anyone that wants to reach out to me down that pathway. If we can help you on the DIY front, we're more than happy to. And any commercial mixing needs or questions, we'll help you on that front as well. But we're just hoping to work with a whole lot more than what we can right now. That's pretty much what it's all about. And other private projects that I'm working on with people, advocates from the community, that's something that's in the pipeline right now. And there'll be a few big announcements over probably the next 4 to 6 weeks. And I think quite a number of people will freak out what we're up to. Trust me, considering who these people are and what they do for the community, yes, I think a lot of people will just go, holy crap, I never saw that coming.
Cool.
So, and I can also say openly now that, yes, I do have access to a lab facility in New Zealand. So in the not too distant future, you will also see labworks.co.nz attached to the end of my name. So be prepared for nicked up liquids coming into Australia and to the rest of the world.
Sweet.
Nice.
So, Tam, what's the Omies up to?
Rolling with the Omies.
You're muted, sweetheart.
Tam.
You're muted.
Oh, I am muted. I am. Look at that.
You were hard muted.
I was muted on the mic. Okay. So if you go to the our Facebook page, I'll put a link in a second. Oh God. Okay. If you go to our Facebook page, we have a giveaway for 10 free Flavor of Flavors right now. You just have to put in your favorite Flavor of Flavor. And next Saturday, we will be doing a drawing on the winner for that. And next week, we will also be doing a one-shot talk about for folk arts one-shot line at Chef.
Nice.
And Nick will be back from all of his partying from the past.
You get the Pretty Boy back next week?
Yeah, Pretty Boy comes back. Yep.
Hopefully he does show up in a towel.
Yeah, Lando, right?
Toga.
Yeah. Nick may show up in a toga.
Yeah, hopefully not. And hopefully not with Flavor Cucumber. And I know you're like, what does that mean? But you would have to see a picture to know. So, yeah, it was not good. I told him, don't ever do that again. I'm like old enough to be your mother, and I don't want to see that. Don't take a picture of yourself in a toga again like that. No.
Exactly. You used to change his diapers, damn it.
Yeah, but I don't want to see that kind of, no. No, thank you. But, but I did post a link to our YouTube page up above. But let me post it again in case you missed it. I will put this here. This is to Homegrown Alchemy.
There we go.
I think Raven's got you. And
you're so good. Oh, thank you so much, Raven. Oh my gosh.
Swag's got your back too.
Oh my gosh, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The Wrench Squad's
That's
out there
the
kicking
YouTube
ass.
page. So you can go subscribe and you'll be able to see who the winner is. I mean, we're also on Instagram. I'm on Instagram too. It's Tam Vape. And whatever. I'm all there. Just go check out the link.
I'm all there.
I'm everywhere. Did I say that one time before? Yeah.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Everyone in chat, everyone on the panel. This was a lot of fun. You know, it was a little serious, a little fun, a little lighthearted, a little, a lot of information out there. We'll have to get together more often. This is fun. All right, guys. Remember, no show next week, so we'll be back in 2 weeks, which will be
You
what?
have to go party.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's a dry wedding, so it won't be a whole lot of partying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just found that out the other day. I'm like, it's all right. I still love those people. I'll still go even if I don't have to drink, if I can't drink. All right, guys. Everyone, be good.
All right.
Say, keep an eye on your states, keep an eye on your local representatives, and get the word out there. We need it here in the U.S. and abroad, except for the U.K. They got their shit together. All right, guys. Bye, everybody.
Be good to each other and be nice.